I'll wait till a couple people get in, and I want to see if anyone notices anything. Does anyone notice anything? Mm-mm. Welcome in, Danielle. Does anyone notice anything? I got good news. Where are all my peeps at? Anyways, we are remonetized. It is lit. We are remonetized. We worked hard. I busted my ass for the past couple months to redeem myself, get this channel kind of just solely revolved around what I'm doing and what I want to cover and all the contents and the shorts or what I want to cover. And we are remonetized. We're there. We're back. What's wrong with my Streamlabs shit? What's going on here? What is going on here? Yeah, so if you guys want to super chat, there you go. I'm back monetized. All right, we're going to have to hold on. All right, are we back? All right, because I was going to say, this is messing up, fool. So, this is what we're going to do. Any we're going to, first of all, we're going to, God bless everybody. Thank you for supporting me throughout this whole journey. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. We've been demonetized for the past however long. And we're back, though. We're back. We're remonetized, better than ever. We're going to do better than ever. I'm going to continue to push better content. But most of all, you guys don't have to. The best way for you guys to donate would be copy and pasting the Streamlabs link in my chat or whatever, or in my description, into your browser, and then donating through there. Because YouTube takes a brutal 30%. But as you guys can see, my monthly goal for my Streamlabs link is below me. But you guys can now super chat. Oh man, Sid. Now I gotta get the Sharpie, man. Thank you so much, man. You just made my day, bro. Hey, man, what I gotta put your name down on the wall again, bro. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, it's just so surreal. Last night I was about to go to bed about midnight, and I got the email, and I've been worried. I've been like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna remonetize me? And then I got the email saying, congratulations, you've been added back to the partner program. Thank you so much, brother. God bless you. I'm putting your name on the wall again. We're back, man. That's some real shit you did. Thank you. So I'm gonna really try my best to not go too crazy on this channel. That will be for my rumble and my kick. But man, we're back monetized. It feels great, and I'm very grateful, bro. So thank you so much for that, homie. That means a lot. Um, I was really worried that this wasn't gonna happen. So the fact that it did happen is just awesome. So we're back monetized. We're back grooving. And my job fired me. My job fired me for my views, for my being passionate about my YouTube, and now we get back monetized. To me, that's God saying, "Get going, bro. Here's this blessing. You're back monetized. get to work, right? So we're just gonna run it up. We're gonna do the best. Welcome in, Valerie or Valeria. Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, man, we're just gonna do our best to continue on and make the best content and adhere to the guidelines and continue to run it up and do better. And I'm gonna continue to get better for you guys. Thank you so much again, Sid. Means a lot, brother. For a long time, I was thinking, God, I spent all this time getting these thousands of subscribers, and what what am I gonna do? I'm demonetized now. So yes, Jesus is King. Amen. Thank you so much. Oh my God, another one, bro. Now I gotta write your name again, brother. Thank you so much, man. You have no idea how much that means to me, bro. Oh my God, bro. For real, it means immense amount to me. Thank you so much. Like I always say, the feeling of gratitude is the best feeling in the world, and I just appreciate it, brother. Um, like I said, this is my dream, man. This is my passion. That's why I never stop working hard. I'm trying to always get on here for you guys daily and bust my ass, bro, because this is what means everything to me. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. And I'm not going to disappoint you guys. I promise you. I'm going to continue to run it up and continue to get better and be better. Thank you so much. I'm going to write your name again, bro. Like I always tell people, man, you get your name written down as many times as you get your name written down as many times as you donate. Welcome back in, Anna. We got remonetized. Thank you, Sid, so much, man. You just made my day, dude. Get the Yeah, you said get the memberships on. I'll do that right now. I'll get my other MacBook out here. Give me 1 second. I think I'm gonna do this. Gosh darn it. Freaking flies, dude. I gotta get these flies out of here, homie. I don't even know how there's so much of them. I'm now a YouTube partner. Yes, I know I'm now a YouTube partner. All right, so I'm gonna do memberships now. We'll just do 4.99 for now, man, for show. Level one name. What should I name a member, bro? Thank you so much, Anna. You know we've been working hard for this. For real, for real. Man, I'm just so psyched. Thank you so much, Sid. You made my night, man. Um, we'll just do we'll just do I don't think can I do an emoji up on here or what? On my other laptop I'd be able to. Cananians. I was gonna say see me now member or see me now soldier. Ooh, that sounds good. See me now soldier. Cause we're fighting for the truth, man. Right? Loyalty badge. I'll do for the 4.99 a month. It'll be see me now soldier, and then for the 10.99 a month, it'll be see me now general. Bro, this is insane. Thank you so much, Anna. Like I said, man, we're back. I ain't going nowhere. Crazy, man. It's crazy. I was just a little worried that this wasn't gonna happen, and then last night I hold on. I gotta turn on my ads too. Man, this is crazy. It's so surreal. It's so surreal because it's so surreal because like uh I didn't know this was gonna happen. I didn't think it was gonna. And then last night, it got emailed to me, and I was like celebrating. I was like, yes. And now I got AdSense back. I got supers. I got memberships. Man, we're back in action. Right after my job decided to let me go for this shit, bro. We're back in action. We're gonna run it up, dude. I'm telling you what. But so hold on. I'm gonna give my daughter my phone quick. I'm gonna bring the thing over here so I can use my laptop for the live here. So give me 1 second, y'all. Usually I have hundreds of people in here, but okay, brother. It's always some low IQ people in here, right? Some low IQ people. But I'm going to get this video going for a second, and then I will be back.
And has billions of dollars of unused Bitcoin. Like, what is that?
This is where we left off yesterday.
And no one can answer the question, including some of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Do I know personally? They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters to me. Right?
Thank you, Tucker.
Thank you.
Clock's ticking.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And let me just say, to the French kid, sorry I was snappy with you, but you really are the most annoying person I've ever met. And I mean that. Thank you.
I will for sure give the girls hugs for show. Yeah, I mainly wanted to go and let you guys know I was remonetized. Give me 1 second here. It's funny how people want to come here and talk shit and say, oh, there's only 10 people watching. It's like, bro, you don't even, are you ever really in here? You know, like, go look at my views, bro. Like, I get tired of that shit. Like, you scroll up on me and then you're just like, oh, you know, get the fuck out of here. Give girls hugs for me. I for sure give girls hugs for you. And no, I did not give up. I'm definitely getting better from that. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can't, here, let's see if I can't do a certain window. But yeah, we're gonna finish this from yesterday. Kind of just chill day. The algorithm ain't working. It doesn't really matter to me. So yeah, I guess that's not gonna work. I don't know. Thought it would. But yeah, okay. So let's run it up. Let's get this going. Laptop here so I can see you guys on the side. Yeah, haters definitely have no life, man. And plus, it's the way you title things. Like, this was a stream for the family. Like, I just wanted to get on and be with the family, the real ones who support me, man. And I'm on at a weird time of the day. Like, usually I'm on earlier, and that all matters too with your algorithm. So, is he gonna be back on or what? What's going on here? God, dude, these flies. I'm gonna I don't know why the hell. Like, they must be having the last hurrah before winter. Okay, well, I guess that's done. Okay, well, give me a second. I want to go to. Bro, I was listening to this shit last night. Hold on. I was listening to this shit last night and or this morning, and they got on camera or on recording them saying that Charlie Kirk didn't get an autopsy, bro. All right, hold on. Let's bring this up quick. So listen to this. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think about this, bro. This is insane.
Tea room Bay. Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at Signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
Sorry, 10-9? Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
And 287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at Signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9? Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
And 287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is...
Okay, so that's insane. The doctor or the surgeon signed off on the death certificate. And I'm going to replay it so we can all listen to it, and anyone that's new in here can listen to it with us. To me, first of all, if he was dead on impact, why is there a surgeon there, right? It should just be a coroner. But this is all just speculation. We just got monetized, so I'm afraid to go deep in this stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is pretty damning evidence if this is real. And it sounds like it's real. So I'm going to replay it quick. I got to go grab something. I'm going to replay it. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. Give me 1 second. Let's replay it for everybody that's new to the stream. Anyone that is new to the stream, make sure you double tap the screen. Get those likes up. Show some love and support. And make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. If you guys want a super chat, you get your name written on the wall behind me. Sid, you're a freaking legend, brother. You're a legend. Got your name written down twice. You're going to take up my whole wall. That's fine, though.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at Signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9? Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
And 287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at Signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9? Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
And 287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is...
All right. So that's insane. yeah, that's pretty insane. We all have been wondering if Charlie actually got an autopsy. The only thing that we really heard, from my understanding, was that, yo, this is what the surgeon said. They came out with the letter. They said that he had bones of steel and blah 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 blah. I don't know, guys. It's under law that they have to perform an autopsy under suspicious death. Oop, sorry. He was unalived under suspicious circumstances. I mean, he was publicly taken out. Um I feel like we all kind of had a feeling about it, but yeah. I mean, no autopsy, we kind of all figured that out, but dude, like and by the way, this is another video I want to show you. Oops. So a good Samaritan. Okay, we'll get back to the Charlie thing, but I just seen this, so I just want to show this because I got ADHD. A good Samaritan had helped a lady who was about to walk on the street and get just smashed by a vehicle. And look what happens next. Shout out the Alaskan Avenger, by the way. I actually talked to him on Instagram. We might have a little collab coming up. I can even show you the messages. All right, let's restart this here. I try and save things I think would be interesting here.
Completely distracted by her phone. She's obviously got her headphones on and she is transfixed by whatever she's watching on that little device. Oh my God, and you see there's a car coming fast and she's about to step in front of it. What are you gonna do? Well, Daniel Reed was that guy walking down the sidewalk in Los Angeles one morning, and he happened to notice Jessica Moore was completely stuck in her phone and was about to step in front of a car and get hit. So he did the right thing and he rushed towards her, grabbed her by her jacket, spun her out of the way right before the car whizzed by. And then she contacted the police and he was charged with sexual assault.
A man saved a woman who was on the verge of being hit by a car, but was charged with sexual harassment because he made inappropriate contact with her. Police in Los Angeles said 32-year-old Daniel Reed noticed Jessica Moore stepping into the street while looking at her phone. A car was racing toward her seconds away from impact. Daniel reacted instantly, grabbing her and pulling her out of the way just before the vehicle passed. Surveillance footage later confirmed that his actions had prevented a major accident. However, Jessica later filed a complaint stating that Daniel's actions were inappropriate and violated her personal boundaries. Her legal team argued that no one has the right to touch another person without consent, even in an emergency situation.
Right, so the media is saying that this has sparked a nationwide debate. Because obviously, even in an emergency situation, no one's allowed to touch you. This has got to be yet another one of the most ridiculous cases that I've seen in a long time. Jessica Moore, we know you're embarrassed, sweetheart. And we know it's a little bit shocking when somebody rushes up and saves your life. Sadly, it's people just like Jessica Moore that cause everyday people to see someone in distress and just look the other way. This is the world we actually live in today. Actually save somebody's life, and it's all on camera, and get charged with sexual assault. Daniel Reed, there's absolutely...
So, wild. I mean, dude, the world just keeps getting crazier and crazier, right? I mean, for crying out loud. So you get saved by being smoked by a vehicle, and then you press charges, bro. Like, that girl should get in trouble for pressing charges, right? Forgot there was something else. Okay. Yeah, so with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, I think it's pretty crazy. We all knew that he didn't have an autopsy, man. We were all wondering, where's the autopsy? Where's the autopsy? Where's the autopsy? So, to me, this is what I feel. With everything we've been watching, this is just alleged. This is how I feel. This is just crazy. Like, so he gets unalived. His freaking security detail does a terrible job at taking care of the situation, taking care of him when they're taking him to the hospital. The doctor signs off on the death certificate. Then they're calling around and everything seems like it's a scramble to even know what's going on. Let's listen to it again. That's my world. I don't think that's my world. I'm not a liberal. I'm independent. Let's listen to it again.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's
Well,
wife.
Scott, this apparent phone call that's been leaked says otherwise, brother. So just listen. Anyone that's new coming into the channel, welcome in. Hopefully, y'all have a good day. Happy Saturday. God bless you guys. Jesus is King. Welcome to the channel. We just got monetized, so if you want to get your name back on the wall behind me, we can go ahead and I got demonetized at 5K subs. Finally got remonetized. I got 10 monetization goal. I'll bring my tortoise and my bearded dragon out if we get to 10 monetization goals. You also get your name written down on the wall as many times as you donate. There's no specific amount you have to. You just get your name written down. Sid is in the lead. Thank you, Sid. I'm very blessed to have you as a supporter. I appreciate everybody who's in here. God bless everybody. But for anyone that's new, listen to the phone call that got leaked. Welcome in, Maggie. Welcome in. God bless everybody. I love you guys.
Tea room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and they're bringing a car over here for a grand.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9? Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
In 287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and they're bringing a car over here for a grand.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9? Can you just add us up to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
In 287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and they're bringing a car over here for a grand.
Charlie's wife is...
Okay, so who's seen the fact that the Timpanogos Hospital and everybody else, or every other place, like there was a few people and all that other stuff, who's seen that there was Googles from Israel? Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. We have 139 people in here. Let's try and get to 30 likes. We just need 26 more beautiful people to double tap that screen. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for being here today, by the way. And we're celebrating me getting back monetized. So make sure you guys double tap that screen. I don't really care about the super chats, but just double tap the screen and hit the subscribe button with notification bell. Join the family, man. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. But yeah, so the way that Erica's been acting, weird. The way that everybody else has been acting, weird. I'm not implying anything. This is all just my imagination. This is all just what I think. But if this call is real and what we've been learning about the Google searches months prior to this situation is real, if, a big if for YouTube, seems like they had doctors already picked out, allegedly, right? Like there has to be something more going on here. If a doctor's the one that signed a death certificate, there's not really good communication. I mean, we'll listen to it again when you hear it. There's definitely not good communication between anybody. They don't know what's going on. I mean, you heard them say, "Well, we'll keep it going by ear," I guess, right? I mean, it sucks because the thing is you can't trust a lot of what you're told anymore. And I'm not saying that to be conspiratorial. I'm saying that because it's true. There's no trust anymore with the community and the higher ups. And then with everything going on, everything just seems so suspicious. Um, and if I one thing I can't wait to hear is what Candace is gonna say when she gets back on the 27th, right? When she gets back on the 27th, I mean, let's go look at her tweet real quick. Hold on, let me pull it up. When she said, "Don't worry, I intend on breaking the gag order because everything I've learned in the past week is enough to burn the whole house down," right? Oh, she's fishing, I guess. Let's go to Candace Owens' thing here. Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. So let's go to her chant or her thing quick here. God, dude, these flies, I'm gonna fucking freak out. Okay, so this is what we're thinking here. So if this phone call is real, and she's out here saying everything she's learned in the past week can burn the house down. I want to know if she knows. And if it's true that there was no autopsy and she knows this and she knows more intricate details within the circle of his circle and TPUSA or whoever is the whistleblowers for her or whatever tip she's getting. Like I was watching Ian Carroll and people are asking, is he being okay? Or is he being okay? I can't even talk. Is Candace okay? And he said she's perfectly fine. She steps back and she evaluates and comes back and really, puts what she thinks is the truth out. And so she says, don't worry about the gag order and in the Charlie case. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things I've discovered in the past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie was betrayed by everyone. So then she posts that. Then she comes out with this video that people are just considering shocking, right? Right here.
Everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose.
By the way, make sure you guys double tap that screen. We're still at 4 likes. Let's get 26 more beautiful, God-loving people to double tap that screen and get us to 30 likes. Come on, y'all. Show some love and support. We just got remonetized today. Let's run it up. Come on, y'all. Show some love and support, man. I've been working hard. We got demonetized at 5K subs. I've been putting my head down, busting my butt to make sure I get back monetized and get back to my, passion and make sure my goal is to continue to do well on here and get back monetized, and we did it. So now we just have to set another goal of let's hit 10K, 20K, 30, 40, 50, whatever. But double tap that screen, guys. Show some love and support. Grebs, I agree with you somewhat. Yeah, right. Anyway, I love you guys. Whoever's in the chat, welcome in. Margaret, Maggie, thank you for the subscription. Much love to all you guys, man. Double tap that screen, though, and hit the subscription button, man. Show some love and support. And if you want your name written on the wall behind me, Sid's is written down 3 times now. Sid's name, my moderator's name is written down 3 times. Man, I love you, bro. Thank you so much, homie. Dedicated people are who I want on this channel, people who really support the movement and people who support the family that's growing on here. Thank you guys so much. But if you want to get your name written down on the wall like he has, super chat, whatever, and you can get your name written down. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to go grab something, but I'm going to let this play.
faith in politics. It's made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. They're like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died. And we will see you guys then.
All right, well, we could clip that. Just give me 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry. I threw a freaking towel over my stuff and just freaking sprayed a bunch of freaking fly spray, bro. So hopefully they're all murked. Because I'm freaking over them. I should keep it next to me. Where's it at? All right, bro. We're lit. I got the freaking. So these guys come near me, it's over. I cannot handle it. But double tap that screen, man. Show some love and support. It's not that hard to double tap your screen, guys. Hit your screen twice with your. Oh, we're at 25. It said I was at 4 likes, you guys, and we're at 25 now. My bad. Thank you guys for the love and support, man. I appreciate all of you guys. 4 more to 30. Double tap that screen. Thank you guys so much. My apologies. My apologies. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell. We're on the road to 10,000 subs, man. We just got back monetized today. Worked my butt off, and we're back, man. We're back. We're better than ever. So feel free to, if you want to get your name written down on the wall behind me, you guys can super chat and you can get it written down as many times as you want. There is no specific amount you have to super chat. I just want to fill my wall up with names behind me. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool tribute to my people. Oh, and as you can see, she's fishing. What else has she said? Charlie went from not knowing the difference between Jay-Z and Kanye to text to me this on the daily. Everyone's politics is fake. So this is her. She must be fly fishing. Little, what's that, rainbow trout? Is that what that is? So she's out there somewhere having at least a good time, right? So what she comes back with, I don't know. Yeah. It's a situation, man. Like I said, if that call is real where there is no autopsy for Charlie and it just got signed off, that's insane. There's got to be something going on. I see this, if that is the case, I see this being one of those future cases in the future opened back up and they do autopsy then when it's too late, which I hope they don't do. But God, you know, like, gosh, it just keeps getting, this is a canon more, this is a gift that just keeps on giving, right? We just keep learning more and more and more and more and more. So I thought this was an interesting video last night. Let's go to Ian Carroll. He was breaking down that what's the name? Chief of Staff of Charlie. This is just crazy. We'll watch it. I'll let you guys be the judge of it here. Ian Carroll, shout out him, bro. Massive love to him. He does so good at breaking stuff down and making sure that he does a good job at sourcing things, and I just love watching him. So what did I watch last night here? Let's see. Must have just been his live we were watching. It was towards the end too. So let's just watch a little bit of this here.
So, welcome to the party.
So to break it down,
Crack a beverage.
To break it down, so when Charlie was first, we'll say, touched by the bullet or whatever, everybody took him down, but his chief of staff like immediately picked up his phone or whatever, walked away, and he was like walking away from. They were bringing him to the SUV, and he was on camera like across the street, walking away, still on the phone. And apparently, his dad or whoever the heck he is, who is a preacher, said that he called him right away. I keep thinking the mouse board on my MacBook down here is the one up here. Let's see, where was it at? Let's see, about right here. Okay, we'll start from right here. But anyways, I just want to say much appreciation to you guys, man. The mic theory for me, I support a lot. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for being in here, man. God bless you guys. Jesus is King. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Thank you for being in here. Double tap that screen. Show some love and support. This is about to break down what I was talking about earlier. And hearing that phone call about the no autopsy thing is even crazier. I wonder if he's heard that. But yeah, let's get in this. I want you guys to hear him breaking this down right fast. And yeah, so make sure you guys double tap that screen. Let's try and get to 100 likes. We just need 68 likes or 78. No, 68. Yeah, 68 likes, man. 68 beautiful people. Double tap that screen. Show some love and support. We just got back monetized. We are running it up, you guys. We are back. And I'm not going anywhere. We are back. So don't fret. I'm never going to stop. And if I missed any comments, my bad. My kid has my phone right now. So I have my other MacBook down here. It's hard to kind of keep track of both. But let's listen to him break down this video. Baron Coleman did a good breakdown of all the Googles that were happening of everything before what took place happened with Charlie. So it's a good breakdown I want you guys to listen to.
Maybe it's a coincidence, but my best guess would be that people in Israel were probably Google searching me because they were not exactly stoked about the live stream that I had done. And I'm not saying that like Mossad was.
So people in Israel were Googling him too. So I don't know. It's just crazy how you can go on Google Trends and look this stuff up though. I mean, a bunch of people are being little online detectives and looking. And frankly, with being a single father, I don't have the time, but I love breaking down what he says because he does very good at sourcing his evidence. And if he's wrong, he corrects it and whatnot. So, all right, I'll shut up. Let's break this down. Continue to double tap the screen. We're at 36 likes. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. We got a 10 super chat goal, and I'll bring my tortoise and my bearded dragon out. Doesn't matter what you super chat, just super chat to your boy to celebrate me being back monetized. And you also get your name written down in the wall behind me. I'm trying to fill up the wall around my sign with names of donors. Thank you so much, guys. Love you.
Google searching me. I'm just saying that people in Israel were Google searching me. And maybe they're just regular civilians that are just curious. Maybe they're hyped. Maybe they're homies that are in the chat right now. Or maybe they were people like that don't like me. Who knows? You can only ascribe as much as you can ascribe to it. And it's really all speculation beyond the fact that Google searches happened. Okay. That's layer one of this idea.
A very long time. And I've just got.
And Baron walks us slowly into this idea like I did, where he shows us, he used the Atlanta Braves as a basic search to show what trend lines tend to look like and why you can't use this technique on big things that are popular that get lots of Google searches. You have to use it on things like someone's full name or an address or, you know, stuff like that. So then he searched Tyler James Robinson, which is Tyler Robinson's full name. Most of us don't know Tyler Robinson's full name, but it is Tyler James Robinson.
Tyler James Robinson. So I did a search for Tyler James Robinson nationally over the entire United States for the past 7 days. And you'll notice the gigantic spike right after the news broke. But
hey, y'all, we got 4 minutes for the super chat goal. Run it up, you guys. Try and see if we can hit this super chat goal in 4 minutes. Sid, don't even think about it. You already super chatted twice. I just wanted to do a super chat goal. I've never done it, but 4 minutes left, y'all.
I noticed right over here there was a little blip on September 9th at 7 p.m. Damn, that's weird.
That is weird.
And keep in mind, this is a blip large enough to show up on an index at a 2. Now, granted, I'm going to keep going. You're going to be surprised by what I show you here in a few minutes. It's a blip.
I got the marker to write down the names too, by the way.
Large enough to show up as a 2 the day before the Kirk shooting. The day before the Kirk shooting, someone in the United States searched Tyler James Robinson, the full name, first, middle, last name of the shooter. Now, what's interesting about that is I've not seen him listed anywhere as Tyler James Robinson. I've seen Tyler Robinson a lot. I've seen his mom's name. I think her name was Amber.
Okay, so not going to sit around and watch the whole thing. I recommend that you do go watch the whole thing because he gets into more granular detail. And he looks up different locations and he hones in. And he also looks for other locations where there is no data and he shows you that. And so the granularity of watching his whole stream is important because you get the context that it's not he's not just like cherry picking random things and being like, look, there's a crazy trend. He's looking all over and he's showing you that like, no, it's just searched in this one place at this one time, not anywhere else, not any other time. That's weird. And what he realizes is that Tyler James Robinson was searched the day before the shooting in the United States, and he hones in on realizing that Tyler James Robinson was searched in Washington, D.C. at 12 p.m. the day before the shooting. And he was searched in Huntsville, Alabama at 4 p.m. the day before the shooting. And Huntsville, Alabama is a weird place, but he knows from his time looking into Thomas Matthew Crooks, which is where he first started applying this technique to crimes like this, to high-profile cases. He knows that in Huntsville, Alabama, there's an enormous FBI field office. And so Huntsville, Alabama shows a lot of blips on a lot of searches that he winds up doing. And then also the District of Columbia at 9 p.m., there was a huge signal. And that is not what's on screen there. That's District of Columbia. And then he shows, oh, and then he's on to something else. I must have skipped over it. So that's the technique that's being used here. And this is just the start. Tyler James Robinson is just the start. I decided to go through all of his streams and tabulate all of the relevant searches onto a timeline. And it looks like this. And everything blue is a Google Trends search correlated to this case that is super suspicious, that Barron has highlighted on his streams. And there's probably many more that no one's found yet or that Barron has not found, but maybe someone else has. This is just what's in Barron's streams that I thought were relevant. And there's even other ones that were maybe a little less relevant that I just didn't put on. Just because some of them, like he's not trying to cherry pick. He's showing like this one is interesting, but not necessarily, it might be noise. It might, some of them are a little more, there's other explanations, but some of them there's not. So let's look at this. Here is, before we get into the timeline too much, let's just look at all the searches. This is a different tab where I've got all the relevant searches with the dates and locations. Tyler James Robinson was the first one he found. Then you remember there was this plane that took off nearby that people thought maybe someone had escaped on this plane that took off from this airport. Tail number N88KG. Well, the owner of that plane was searched in the DC metro area at 1 p.m. on September 7th, just days.
By the way, guys, memberships are launched. So the first tier is a See Me Now Soldier. Second tier is See Me Now General. They need to see us now. We're always going to be seeking out the truth. God bless you guys for being here. Thank you for all your time. We're at 40 likes. Thank you guys so much. So grateful. Let's keep running it up, man. Let's try and get to 200, 100, man. 60 more beautiful people. Just need to double tap that screen. I appreciate you guys, man. God bless. You guys are the best, to be honest with you. On the road to 10,000, man. How many subs are we at? Let's see here. We're at 7,380. No, actually, we're at 7,390 something. So let's try and hit 8,000, man. Let's try and hit 8,000. But yeah, much love to you guys, man. God bless. And he does a very good job at this chart too. Like, this is insane. Watch this.
Before the shooting. His full name, Derek Maxfield. Not the rarest name in the world,
Welcome in, Gary.
But his name doesn't get searched other places. It was just in the DC metro area. And then on September 9th in Huntsville at 10 a.m., where
Welcome
the
in, Jonathan.
FBI field office is. And in Utah on September 9th at 8 a.m. And September 10th in the District of Columbia at 11 a.m., all before the shooting. The tail number of the plane was searched the day before the shooting in Utah at 2 p.m. And in Arizona at 2 p.m. on September 8th. The plane was flying to Arizona. The tail number of the plane? I mean, that could maybe make sense in Utah and Arizona. Utah Valley University was searched sometime in early September in the DC metro area.
If you want to get your name written down on the wall
Lance
behind
Twiggs.
me, I got the marker. You guys just got a super
Lance
chat.
Twiggs.
Doesn't matter how much. We're celebrating being monetized.
Lance
again.
Twiggs was searched all the way back in 2023 in the DC metro area.
Now it's to 10,000. Let's go.
And he was also searched in Israel.
Welcome in, Daniel.
All the way back in 2021, someone in Israel Google searched Lance Twiggs with 2 G's, which is kind of weird. It's a pretty specific name. So there's some searches for Lance Twiggs dating all the way back 2 years plus. And then there's some searches for him in the near proximity to the shooting, a couple months before the shooting. Kind of weird. Losi Center was searched in Huntsville in April. And right before the shooting on September 8th, it was searched in the DC metro area. And also in July, multiple times, it was searched in Israel. It was funny on the stream when Israel first started getting searched. Big time. So there's all these searches. A whole bunch of the surgeons that work at the hospital there, people that work in law enforcement in the town by name, people's addresses, their full addresses were searched in Israel and the DC area. A lot of these searches are in Israel, which is all very weird.
See, my big thing though is like, why are these on Google? Like, don't you think that if they really wanted to search addresses and do all this stuff, it'd be on like a more incognito, non-traceable, non-visible way? I don't know. To me, it's just kind of crazy, but hey, man.
Weird.
Wouldn't be
And
the
there's
first
even
time
a few
some weird shit
YouTubers and
happened
pundits and people that were searched, which
It was true.
could be nothing. It's hard to say. But Barron has the saying that he says on all of his streams, which is once is a random occurrence, twice is a coincidence, and 3 times you might have a pattern. And we're at 42 searches that I thought were relevant just on my list here, compiled from his list. And there's other people starting to dig into this stuff too. It is important to note that we've seen multiple times that once one of these searches is made public, the data seems to change, like within a couple days sometimes, particularly on his stream, probably on my stream now too.
Sid.
And maybe this will be the last big time that this technique works on a high-profile case, but it's very relevant. And so before we get into the next piece of this, let's meet our guy.
All right, so this is what we're talking about. You see that picture here? Let's bring it back 5 seconds.
Piece of this.
Okay, so apparently, where's my mouse? Oh God, I keep thinking that the mouse on my MacBook down here is the mouse on my MacBook up here. All right, so this guy right here that's circled is apparently the chief of staff of Charlie Kirk's staff, right? And listen and watch what he said or what happened. So these are them loading Charlie into the vehicle, and this is his chief of staff walking down the street on the phone, apparently with his father, right?
Let's meet our guy. Mikey McCoy. And actually, before we get to the video that Sam Parker put out, let's do a little bit of context here. Mikey McCoy is the chief of staff for Turning Point USA. So he was Charlie's chief of staff for about a year now, and he'd been working very closely high up there for many years at this point. Very close. This is Mikey right here. He is the son, if you recognize that name, it's because he is the son of Pastor Rob McCoy. And I just want to give a quick shout out to our boy, I Am Coach Colin. I've been loving Coach Colin's content for the last week or two since I discovered him. And
See, now when people yell at me or try and give shit to me for like reacting to Ian Carroll because I like the way he breaks things down and I feel like it's very informational and I feel like he's where I like to go to get information, and then I go on my own way too on what he said, off what he says. He's doing the same thing to other people, so that's why I hate when people talk shit. It's like that's what we're supposed to do. We're all supposed to use each other's minds to dig deeper, right?
He puts out tons of videos, good like 10 to 20 minute videos on every aspect of this case. He covers everything, and he's just fun. He like has no fear about having fun with the conspiracies, but he's also a smart guy that will actually parse the evidence. And so he's a great resource to keep up with everything that's breaking and every theory and every little bit. And I was watching one of his videos from just today, where he's watching this Pastor Rob McCoy speech. And I was like, man, I want to look up that speech and get that clip. And so I went and found it. And this isn't the exact same clip, but it's interesting.
Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff.
Those are his kids.
And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck.
We're going to come back to that statement in just a second.
Please call every pastor and pray. I said, okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And Frank Turek.
Wait. I didn't even notice that before. He just said that Mikey had blood all over him. Let's remember that.
I'm going to fill my
in
coffee
just a moment.
real quick.
I want to address something. The stupidity of the internet.
This is the fun part.
Signals? Really? You're going to put that garbage out? That they were giving hand signals? That was...
Bro, do you see the satanic hand signal? Bro, dude, do you see the hand signal that he's putting up right now?
Frank Turek. He was covered in blood because he was giving Charlie CPR. He's an apologist for the Christian faith. His children were on the phone when he was videotaping it, and they saw the bullet. His heart's ripped out. Signals, really? And the other guy, Dan, the security guard, he's somehow...
The guy on the bottom right is Ian Carroll. He does very good at breaking things down, doing good informational research, citing sources. So that's why I love bringing him on and watching him and going off what he says, racking his brain, and then kind of going on to find other information as well. Earlier, I played the phone call that there was apparently no Charlie Kirk autopsy, allegedly, right? This is just a leaked phone call. And then now I'm playing this, and I wonder if he's going to react to that phone call. But welcome in everybody that's new to the channel. Thank you guys for the 47 likes. Let's try and get to 100. We just need 53 more likes. I'm so grateful, you guys. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the bomb. I have the most bomb diggity community. We're the most positive and supportive community on YouTube, man. And if you ain't positive, then you ain't going to be in the chat. Because on this account, it's about unity and love and God. Let's go.
Now, and tied in with this conspiracy, get over yourself.
Lauren, all you got to do is double tap your screen like that. And you liked it. Thank you so much, Lauren. Welcome to the family. I hope you subscribed. Welcome to the See Me Now family that need to see us now. And I'm just so grateful we got monetized again, dude, because I worked so hard on this channel to get to where we're at. And then when I got demonetized, I was like, no. But I just put my head down, and you guys helped me get through it, being such a supportive community, being here every day for me. And just showing love and appreciation, and it just helped me push through. And now look, we're back on the right track. We're going to continue to go up, and I just love you guys so much. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Lauren. Much love to everybody, man. 49 more likes. You guys are the best. Such a blessing. Thank you, Lauren. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the See Me Now family.
Dan is a believer. I love that man. Why didn't he check the roof? I don't know. I do know that they do. I know they have a limited detail.
Anyways, we don't need to listen to his whiny voice all day. There is truth to what he's saying, that like, yeah, it's important not to like dogpile on to people that are grieving, that are close to the, it's a touchy subject. It's true. But I just wanted to get get his.
By the way, again, can we get a shout out to Sid, man? His name's written down on the wall 3 times. Shout out to Sid, man. What a blessing to have people that support me like that. If you want a super chat, get your name written down on the wall. I'm trying to fill the wall up around my sign with names with a marker. I think it'd look dope. And it's a good way to interact with my people. But shout out Sid, man. I can't say it enough. You made my night, brother.
Get you to know his face a little bit. If you're not familiar, Pastor Rob McCoy is extremely pro-Israel. But he said a few things right there that are going to be really, really, really relevant when we watch video footage of what his son, Mikey McCoy, the chief of staff, did right when Charlie got shot. And here's the thing about video evidence. There's a lot of things that we sort of kind of know. There's a lot of things that we've got information about, but it's like, can you trust the source? There's a lot of parts of this story that are speculation and are probably always going to be speculation. But video is video. And yeah, there's AI, there's editing, there's all sorts of stuff that can happen to video, but the original video footage that we've got of this event, I think we feel pretty good about most of the original video footage. And none of it has really been outed as being AI yet, and we're still in the era where we're pretty sure that the entire internet combined can identify an AI video, probably, especially high profile case like this. So we feel pretty fucking good about the video footage. If it's on video, it happened, probably, almost certainly. And we need some explanations for what's on video. There's a lot of video, actually. Not as much as we might expect, but there is video. And so maybe there's a rational explanation for everything that's caught on video. But there's got to be some sort of explanation because it happened and it's on video. And so this is a zoomed in frame from one of the main angles that we all watched, where Charlie gets hit in the neck and he bleeds everywhere and falls over and dies. And so the framing feels new, but it's taken from the same video that we've all seen because Sam had to zoom in on this guy right here in the background. And it's kind of hard for you to see, but this is Mikey McCoy, and Sam did another expose about tracking Mikey through the whole day because Mikey was right by Charlie. He rode in with him in the SUV. He was filming. A lot of the footage that we saw at the beginning of the event, like of Charlie throwing hats, was from Mikey's phone. Mikey was right behind him and beside him all the way through. And then when Charlie was speaking, Mikey wound up right here to lookers right of the tent, wearing his black backpack with his white long sleeve shirt. And in just a second, we'll watch and track him. So I want to be clear. I'm not accusing Mikey McCoy of a crime. I'm not accusing Mikey McCoy of being involved in a conspiracy. Maybe there's a rational explanation for this behavior. All I'm saying is that on video footage, we see Mikey McCoy's actions during and right after the shooting, and they're weird. And it would be great to get an explanation from Mikey about his actions to clear it all up because it's really weird. Remember, chief of staff. It's like the right-hand guy. And he was at Charlie's right hand all day long. Oh, I got to leave the audio on for a second. It's pretty intense, like gunshot audio, but... Gang violence. Great. Okay, shot rings out. And you can see that Mikey's left hand goes up, kind of like it's going to his ear to cover his ear. And
we're at 7.4K subs now, guys. Thank you guys so much. We're just at 7.3. We're on the road to 10,000, man. Keep subbing up. Keep hitting the notification bell. Keep double tapping that screen. I appreciate you guys, man. I love you guys.
Right hand is holding his phone.
I need to get one of those magic mics.
Okay,
Apple,
that's his phone. And we know it's his phone from more than just this, but that is his phone. Okay. So it looks like his left arm goes to plug an ear maybe, and his right hand holding his phone that was already kind of crossed like this starts to come up towards his ear. But Sam makes the important note that no dial motion is detected, right? It's the phone is in his arms, and it's immediately going up towards his ear. Okay? And he turns around. And Charlie has still not fallen over. You're about to see Charlie fall through the frame right here, but he's already turned around and walking away. And there's Charlie. At least it would appear that he's already hopping. Logical. It was like first he freaked out and tried to get down for cover, and then he kind of realized like, I'm probably not getting shot right now. And then he kind of like tried to help, and then realized like I can't fucking help. And then he like kind of ran around and just tried to stay close to Charlie until he got in the SUV with him. That behavior caught on video made sense to me. That seems like the kind of thing. If you're not familiar with who this Frank Turek guy is, he's kind of like a father figure to Charlie at TPUSA. He thought of Charlie a lot like a son, cared deeply about him, according to him, and seemed pretty broken up about the whole thing after the fact, despite people being, suspicious of his hand gesture thing or whatever. But that behavior on camera made sense from Frank Turek. But now, walking through the frame in the background, white hat is yeah, right there. Again, right here. Black backpack, white shirt, white hat. Like chief of staff? Right? Wait. He's on the phone, and he's just walking away.
Bro, that noise is brutal, especially in his headphones.
Gang violence. Great. Gang violence. Great.
He just walks through the frame.
He's still on the phone.
I'm going to turn our audio up.
Charlie is evacuated behind him. But what's he talking about? He doesn't actually know anything yet. He walked away without seeing what happened to Charlie. Who's he talking to?
Right? So this is from a different video, right? From back behind the scene where Charlie is currently getting loaded into the SUV. We all remember the timeline here. It was pretty quick. It was like within a minute and a half or so. And bro is already on his way out of the venue, walking towards the parking lots over there. This is over in that direction is where the memorial got set up eventually. There is parking over there, but that's certainly not a logical thing to do at this moment, is to walk slowly towards the parking.
Welcome to the family, everybody.
When
That's
like
new, man. God
he
bless
still
you guys.
he didn't see what happened to Charlie. He didn't see the response. He didn't see anything. He just turned and walked
more
away
double taps. We'll be at
on the
100
phone.
likes.
So who's he talking to? Right? And if we go back to his dad, Rob, didn't we just watch Rob say?
Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray.
The minute that Charlie was shot, Mikey called me and said, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. So was he on the phone with you? Because that seems pretty quick. And it's hard to say he even saw that it was a shot in the neck because he was behind him.
Welcome in, Loco.
But, right? Like, and he turned around within a second. But then he also says this.
It's okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing.
Directing from not the scene? Directing from leaving? I mean, he sure seemed to have his wits about him. That is true.
He had blood all over him.
He had blood all over him? Whoa, bro. Blood all over him? I mean, I see a white-ass shirt, and we watched him walk away. I don't see any blood all over anyone. And I'm pretty sure that the only opportunity to get blood all over him was just loaded into the car while he was walking away on the phone. He's the chief of staff. Right? So that's
chief of staff should be getting in the vehicle behind him or something.
And now it gets even weirder. Way weirder. Because someone went to Barron's live stream and said, hey, how about if you search Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's because I'm in the other timeline.
Bro, he does extensive
Where's Mikey?
work. Shout out Ian Carroll.
Someone
man.
went to Barron's live stream and said, hey, would you look up Mikey McCoy stuff and see if anyone's been searching Mikey McCoy? And lo and behold, there's a Google trend showing that on the 14th of July, someone in Israel searched for Mikey McCoy. That's interesting. But then, on August 15th, Mikey McCoy was searched in the Cayman Islands, which is weird. And then, where is it? It's right. Oh, it's right there. And then, on September 6th, 4 days before the assassination, someone in Israel searched Mikey McCoy's home address verbatim. Like street, like house number, street name, complete. Very specific search in Israel. And I have it written here as Mikey McCoy's home address because Barron rightfully, respectfully did not publish his home address, didn't want to dox him. He did accidentally show the proof that it was like, but anyways, Mikey McCoy's home address was searched by someone in Israel 3 days before the shooting. All that is very weird. And you can go back to Barron's streams and watch them for yourself. I highly recommend that you do that to see the process for yourself and to validate and see exactly how that search was done, to get a little context on it. But that's all very strange. And like, to clarify, when Barron does these searches, he also shows, like, he'll show that same search in New York and California and Arizona and the United Kingdom and Australia to show you that all these other places, no searches. But then in these places, searches, which is all very weird. And so this is where I started to realize that putting all these searches onto a timeline might tell us something interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy
because
that they're all like
Barron.
It's pretty crazy that months before this happened, like everything that has to do with the situation is being searched extensively, and then when it gets closer to the event happening, it all goes from there to here, being searched. It's wild. And then just hearing that call that I played earlier is like, oh my goodness. I mean, I just can't wait to see what Candace has to say on the 27th. That's all I gotta say.
Keeps on kind of saying how there's this, they all cluster around this 2-week window, sort of in the middle of July of this year is when the most searches happened. And he kind of says like July 20th seems to be like the middle of this like big amount of searches going on. And so I'm sort of thinking, well, what happened around July 20th? Like, what was happening in Charlie Kirk's life and in TPUSA's life and in Israel's life? And in, like, what was happening around that time in July? Do you know what it was? And I know if you were in the Twitch stream earlier, this is all recap and you were here for it. Hopefully you're having a good drink. But do you know what happened in July? Right around this time when all these searches exploded? Any guesses? On July 13th of this year, Charlie Kirk was in Florida at the TPUSA event hosting a debate between Dave Smith and Josh Hammer, where Dave Smith made Josh Hammer look like a fucking idiot and made the entire pro-Israel cause look ridiculous. And then the next day, on July 14th, Tucker Carlson headlined the main stage for the closing night of the event. And we know from Tucker's reporting, Candace's reporting, and kind of Dave Smith's reporting too, that a conversation happened backstage before Tucker went out on stage where he said, listen, I know that you get all this shit from donors, and I know that they're all over you. And I normally talk about Israel and about Jeffrey Epstein and all these things, and I'm not going to go hard on it. I don't want to bring more trouble on you. I'm not going to do it. And Charlie said, no, go all the way. Say it all. And Tucker recounted that conversation to us. So that was July 13th and 14th.
Hey, man, shout out to... Oh, my God. The hell? What did I just do? Shout out to the 515 people in here, man. Something must have messed up. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Thank you guys for being here. It's such a blessing to be able to be here with you guys and do what I love. And it's such a blessing that I got remonetized. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. We got 500 people in here. Let's try and get to at least 100 likes, man. If we can push to 120, that'd be great. Everybody just double tap that screen, man. Show some love and support. All you gotta do is hit me in the face twice on your phone, and then boom. You can hit me with your thumbs, your toes, your elbow, your fist. Doesn't matter. Just please don't break your phone or your TV, whatever. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna shut up and keep it playing. By the way, Q&A up in the top left. It's a super chat goal. 10 super chats. Get your name written down on the wall in Q&A. I'll answer anything truthfully. Hopefully, it's nothing too crazy.
And there were searches before that. They extend into June and a few in April a little bit. Some searches before that. But then they explode. That very day, the 14th, not even before the event is over, that's when Mikey McCoy gets searched in Israel.
Damn, we already hit 100 likes, man. Thank you guys so much. That's just crazy. Man, you guys always make me so grateful, man. Jesus is king. Thank you so much, man. Wouldn't ever be able to do it without you guys and God right next to me, man.
Then, that same day, a guy named Richard Rasmussen gets searched in Israel.
Christ always with the $10. Thank you so much, brother. God bless you, homie. I'm going to write your name down right now. Thank you so much, brother.
And who is Richard Rasmussen?
Anyone else who wants to get their name written down, I'm going to write it down right now live as you send in the money. Thank you so much, Christ always. I'm going to like that right now. Hopefully you're subscribed and you're part of the family. I want to see your beautiful face in here every day. Thank you so much, man. I just got remonetized today, so it's just kind of it's so surreal because I was kind of afraid. I worked so hard to get to 5K subs, then they demonetized me. Now we're almost at 8, got remonetized. It's just such a blessing, man. I have the best community in the world, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, brother.
Let me reference my other sheet over here. He's one of the surgeons at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. 2 days later, Timpanogos Regional Hospital is searched in D.C. And then, that same day, in D.C.
And by the way, you guys can get your name written down on the wall as many times as you want, by the way. Every super chat gets a name written down. Thank you so much, brother, again. God bless you.
Someone is searching for Bo Mason, who is the commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety that began his job on July 17th. The next day. On the 18th, Stephen Nealman is searched in Israel, then Lee Patterson, then Catherine Nestor, then George Hodgson Zinn. George Zinn was searched in D.C. Brian Gill searched in Israel. Robert Patterson searched in Israel. Lee Trotter searched in Israel. Road Lossie Center searched in Israel. You guys don't know any of these names. You've never heard of any of these names. Stephen Nealman, Lee Patterson, Catherine Nestor, Brian Gill, Robert Patterson, Lee Trotter. Who are they? Well, Catherine Nestor is Tyler Robinson's lawyer. And someone was searching for her name in Israel. Not in the UK, not in Australia, not even anywhere around the United States, just in Israel. All these other names, these are all surgeons that work at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. A few of them are involved in the police force in the
I wrote your name down big.
area.
I hope you see it. I gotta get a better marker so I can make it better. I should have wrote it a little bit smaller. My bad, brother. But your name's on the wall. Like I said, I'm trying to fill up this whole wall behind me with names. And, what better way to do it than, you don't even have to, whatever you super chat, doesn't matter. I want to get names down. Because I just think that'd look cool to have my banner here with all the donors' names and all the real supporters' names on here on the channel. And it's just a reminder of how many people rock with me and how many people are, really awesome and support me. And it just gives me an everyday motivation to keep going. You guys are just awesome. I've always been so grateful with how good my community is. Thank you so much, Christ always. Unity. God bless you, brother. Thank you again. Your name's on the wall. And it's actually the biggest name on there, if you can see.
Of the shooting.
Oh, and by the way, Malcolm, if you don't like me
Schaefer
pausing, bro,
Security was searching
then I don't know
Israel.
what to tell you. Just
Which
keep,
is like maybe just noise because Schaefer Security wasn't actually Charlie's.
if you don't like me pausing, then just scroll, bro. This is my channel. I'm gonna talk if I want to talk, homie. So just, you know, I'm gonna show support and show love to my people that support me. So be quiet.
Security outfit
Actually, here,
anymore.
I'll help
They'd
you out.
stopped a long time ago. Hunter Kozak, the guy that asked the question when Charlie was shot, he was searched in Israel on August 3rd.
No problem.
That's
a little
weird.
bit. It's okay.
If you
I don't
recall, we have
expect no
video of
money.
Hunter Kozak apparently.
Any money is appreciated, much appreciated. I don't expect it. It's a blessing. Like I said, your like and your subscriptions are just, you know, the best. That's all that matters. It's, you know, as long as you're a part of the family, that's all that matters to me. Anything else is a blessing. So don't worry about it.
Practicing his oh shit
Thank you so much
expression
for the
before the
subscription
shooting
upgrade.
happened.
God bless.
And then being very oh shit melodramatic at the moment of the shooting. But Hunter Kozak is actually part of an organization that is dedicated to trailing Charlie Kirk on campus tours and then trolling him in the questions from a left-wing perspective. Hunter Kozak is like opposition to Charlie official. He's very vocal about how he feels about Charlie, and he's part of an organized offensive group to counter Charlie Kirk at the time. Some other interesting stuff about him too, but we don't have time for all of it. But what I'm trying to show you is that just so happens that this massive explosion in search trend data happens right after the TPUSA Florida event, where it becomes pretty apparent to a lot of Jewish donors that something's got to be done about Charlie Kirk. And obviously, there's a lot of speculation in connecting all of these things. But there's not speculation in the fact that these are very specific searches and that the data is showing up only in very specific places. And once is a random occurrence, and twice is a coincidence, and 3 times you might have a pattern, and like 14, 15, 16 times, and holy shit, you're planning an assassination. Allegedly. And it gets to all kinds of granularity, like Mikey McCoy's home address. And I misspelled Mikey here. I turned him into Mickey.
We're going up in subscribers exponentially.
But that's not
Thank
the
you guys
only
so
home
much.
address
Now we're at 7.41K.
that got searched.
Man, on the road to 10,000, man. We're going up. Thank you guys so much for the support.
On September 7th, 3 days before the shooting, someone in Israel searched W925S Street. That is a very specific search. Right? And I see in the chat, someone just said like 9 billion searches a day, for fuck's sake. Yeah, but none of them are for this. And we know that because when you look up W925S Street, look all over the country. Look at every jurisdiction. Look at other countries. Look all over the world and see how many Google searches are done for that exact order of letters and numbers. How many digits are in your PIN for your debit card? 4, right? Because just 4 random numbers in a sequence.
Yo, Christ always unity. Thank you so much, Natalie. If that's your name, thank you so much. God bless you for the another $5. Now I'm gonna write your name down again. I'm gonna go get a better marker to do it with though. Thank you so much, Natalie. What a blessing. What a blessing. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Yes, sweetie. As you guys know, I'm a single dad, so my daughter came up to me. She has spaghetti sauce all over her face. Thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you for blessing my channel, and I hope you stick around, and I hope you stay subscribed and stick around for every stream, man. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, the money doesn't even matter. It's just, anything extra other than a subscription, a like is a blessing, and you have blessed me so much today. Thank you so much, Natalie. God bless you and your family. Jesus is king, man. Straight up. Yeah, I got 2 daughters. One's 3 and one's 6. And single dad in it full time. Love it. Don't want to do anything else. I strictly am a dad and work on this channel and pursue my dreams, and couldn't ask for any of a better life. And you know, it's just awesome. Thank you again, Natalie. I'm gonna go get a marker to write your name down again. I'm gonna write Natalie this time though.
Is a fucking like uncrackable code. There's endless possibilities. But when you have letters and numbers and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters long, I mean, it's not literally that because you kind of have to make words sort of like street, but still, that's an astronomically rare thing to search. And do you know what W925S Street is? Well, it's not Mikey McCoy's address, but it is where the gun was found. Like literally where the gun was found. It is this tiny stretch of road from about here to about here, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 houses. And the gun was found right here. Okay? So 3 days before the shooting, someone halfway around the world is searching for an address in this little town in Utah. I mean, it's not a little town. It's attached to Salt Lake City. But bitch, please. Come on. And then, where is the even more specific one? Where is it? Am I getting confused? Pretty sure that I have tabulated in here an even more. Maybe I'm getting confused. Oh, July 11th, District of Columbia. That would be 7/11. Oh, I just didn't put it into the timeline. Okay, well, on July 11th, here, let me, it's in my bigger Google search trends here. On July 11th, in the District of Columbia, someone searched 683 W925S Street. That's a pretty specific location.
All right, Natalie, I got your name written on the wall for the second time. Thank you so much. I just am blown away.
Is this house?
Thank you so much.
That's the chicken coop right there.
Such a blessing. Thank you so much, Natalie. Your name's written down again. If you didn't hear me, I don't know if my mic's loud enough, but thank you so much. It's just awesome. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And God bless you. Welcome to the family. I'm so glad I have the best community on YouTube. It's overwhelming.
What? What? 683 W925S Street. There's searches today for it. Because I talked about it earlier today. And I mean, you got to scan through all sorts of data. You got to get granular. You got to go to New York, big states, New York. Anyone searching for this random house in Utah in New York? And I don't know. I've not looked this up, but I just assume probably not. California? In the last year? The last 90 days? Oh, interesting. Interesting. What? Interesting.
No, you are awesome. Natalie.
August 6th, 2025. Well. Someone in California. Interesting. When was our other one? It was after that. Expanded timeline. August 6th versus September 7th. I mean, you make your own assessment. You decide for yourself if you want to give any credit.
So any of my mods that are still in here, if anyone, since we just got remonetized, I'm not going to let this dumb stuff slide. If anyone's bullying anybody in the chat, or if anyone's sitting here and being inappropriate, ban them. Like, I don't even want them back on the channel. This is a channel of unity and a God-loving channel and just a channel of being a family. I'm not dealing with that. So I'll be watching.
Ability to all that. But I highly recommend that you go and watch Baron Coleman's streams before you jump to any conclusions about it. because it's pretty weird how many searches were turning up. And he learned this from the Butler shooting and from searching all sorts of things that was not public information that no one would have known before the shooting. But then there were Google searches from before the shooting for all these names that were just nobodies before the shooting. Locations and stuff like that, right? Similar to this. And so when you think it through, what you're probably seeing is either a whole bunch of very bizarre coincidences where people halfway around the world are getting really interested in people that they don't know and have probably, well, I assume wouldn't know and probably have never met, tail numbers to planes that they have nothing to do with, addresses for houses that they have nothing to do with, the Losi Center, a building in a college halfway around the world that they've nothing to do with, I would assume. All of these things are getting searched all in rapid succession right after the TPUSA Florida event. So maybe it's all just coincidences, or maybe it's the planning of a crime. Because Baron Coleman has also demonstrated how you can see what is probably actually people in DC investigating a crime. Not necessarily, not planning it out, but investigating it. And he uses news that just broke about the NBA gambling ring that was an investigation that was ongoing for a long time, if I understand correctly, but all the names were sealed. No one knew the names until like yesterday or the day before when they released it all for the first time. But then he shows that in the DC metro area, a lot of this stuff that was not public information yet was being searched across the last year in the DC area specifically, which would imply that people privy to the investigation, like, you know, the feds, some of those people were probably Google searching parts of their investigation as it was ongoing, and those Google searches were logging in the Google Trends. And that makes sense, right? So that's all very awkward. The chief of staff, covered in blood, allegedly, walking away on the phone with his dad, allegedly. And I think that's not actually, I don't think that's who he's on the phone with, because I think that we can all agree that based on Pastor Rob McCoy saying that Mikey was covered in blood, we can pretty much discount everything that he said because that's not true. So who knows who he's on the phone with? But bro was either on speed dial or something. And bro was on speed the fuck out of this place. I don't need to know anything. I don't need to have any part in this. And we would love an explanation, Mikey. I'm open to hearing it. Maybe there is some normal, rational explanation. Bro, what the fuck? I just looked at my supers.
I know, I can't wait to see what Candace says when she comes back on the 27th either. It's going to be interesting. And I didn't know about the Google Trends thing either, Lauren. It is pretty cool that you can do that. But again, I said, like, why, you know, if Israel and stuff, you know, were, if it's how we think, why would they use a Google search engine? You'd think that they'd have ways of looking that's more incognito and not obvious, that wouldn't be found, you know? So to me, it's like, it's kind of a weird, yeah. I don't know.
What are you doing, homie?
2 minutes till the super
We
chat
have got
go
a
ends, y'all.
whale
Thank
in
you again,
these
Natalie, you're the
supers,
best.
dog.
And
Who
everybody else
are
who
you?
supported me today. Thank you guys so much.
Dog. McKenoyer sent $500. Really appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Really appreciate you. Keep up the good work. You're a legend, dog. I appreciate you. I'll be sure to buy Gigi a tasty meat treat with part of that money. And she'll love you too. So.
By the way, another thing is gym vlogs coming soon. On the 3rd, I get injections in my spine. But after that, I will be having gym vlogs coming soon. I've kind of been on a recovery trip here. I've been taking a lot of methylene blue, a lot of bovine colostrum, other things like that. But I've been really trying to heal my body. But gym vlogs coming soon, man.
It looks like my super chat scanner is okay. No, they're it updated. It might be working. I don't know. But we're not going to go to super chats yet. I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the beginnings of what we'll go and talk to Nate about, which is all of
It's all
this
good, Natalie.
stuff
Don't worry
on
about it. You already
campus.
super chatted. It's not a big deal. It was just like 10 super chats for the goal or
Unless
something like that.
there's
It's
more
not a
in the
big deal.
timeline
Don't worry
that
about
we
it,
should
Natalie.
talk about. There's
What
probably
you gave me
more in
is
the
already a
timeline. we
blessing.
should
I
talk
don't
about.
need
We'll do
no
the
more.
timeline.
It's all good. Thank
And
you.
then we'll get to the other stuff with Nate in a bit. Chat, am
You're
I
the
crazy,
MVP,
chat?
Natalie.
Let me know. Am I crazy to think that Mikey McCoy probably should explain himself? Is that weird? Like, are we making this up? Because I am a little confused by the whole situation. Doesn't look like what I would do right after my friend got shot. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying, once you put it on a timeline, it starts to make a fuckload more sense. Because, okay, so here's something that I said earlier on the Twitch stream that we were doing earlier. But just to clarify what we're seeing here. There are search trend data that is suspicious from before that Florida event. Like, for example, the Losi Center was searched in Israel on July
Thank
7th
you so much,
and July
everybody
9th.
who's sending prayers.
And that's a weird
Much
thing
love,
to
much
search
love.
if you're in Israel. Actually, the landscaping company that redid the crime scene.
As you guys know, I'm transparent on this channel. You guys are my family. So yeah, I'm transparent on this channel because I know I got one of the best communities in the world. Y'all support me. That's why I've been so motivated. Just keep going. Even when I was demonetized, like keep doing it daily, keep going. Because it's not about that. It's about for you guys. Like I just have gotten so intertwined with my community on here. It's just I miss you guys when I'm not on here. So I'm a very transparent person. Anyone that's new here, you'll learn that. So thank you guys for the prayers. God bless you guys, and let's run it up.
They were searched on July 6th in District of Columbia, DC area, which is like maybe a coincidence. Maybe someone in the DC
I'm
area
not worried about the 90% of people that don't care. I'm worried
had
about
some
the 10%
business with
that
them,
do. It's not about the
or
numbers. It's about the quality of the numbers.
something. Who
Amen.
knows? And there are other searches too before that I didn't include. A couple of them, not a ton, but they trail off into the beginning of July, and there's some in June. There might have been a few in May, but not many. And then the TPUSA Florida event, and then a bunch of them, and they're all in Israel. And then leading into the event, a lot more of the search trends that have been found so far, at least, are stateside in DC, and a couple of them in the Huntsville area probably around that FBI office, but who knows? And so what picture does that paint if you kind of run with it, right? Supposing that the theory is correct.
Smileys, God bless you and your family as well.
Speculatively, what that would mean that we're seeing is that before
Thank
the
you very much.
TPUSA Florida event, there was already planning of this thing going on. But it was not urgent, maybe. It kind of looks like someone was already planning this thing that might involve the Losi Center. Metab A. Saeed. Who is that? Let me look at my notes here. Metab A. Saeed. Oh, he was the old special agent in charge in Utah. Relevant. So what it looks like was happening is planning was underway in some form. And then this event happens in Florida, and someone makes a phone call or something. And suddenly the Israelis are like, fucking let's go. And they just start going on full blast planning this out, I would assume. And it kind of looks like it's like, here you're seeing what someone is kind of like working on that day. And here you're seeing someone making a dossier that day. And there's probably a lot more search data that's relevant to this, but you would never be able to find it all. It's like, who knows? But these data points alone show that there's a huge spike in extremely relevant pieces of this crime all at once in Israel. And they're mostly in Israel. Not all, but mostly. And then on August 27th, this UVU campus event is announced for the first time publicly. I forget what the name of the publication was. It was a Utah publication. It might have been one of the college publications is where they first announced it publicly. And then there was a few other Twitter announcements after that. But in that time frame, August 4th is when the infamous Hamptons meeting takes place. August 6th is when Charlie Kirk went on Megyn Kelly's show and talked about how all the donors were fucking all up his butt about Israel and how he has no room to criticize his, that one. That happened right in the middle of this, right? And then they announced the campus event at UVU. And so I'm curious, Mikey, you might be able to answer this. At what point, at what date specifically, did the idea of hosting an event at UVU come up? And who was it that suggested UVU? Because when you look at the tour that Charlie was on, you notice that they were going to Utah 2 different times for some reason. And it was Utah first, and then a bunch of other stops around the country on the West Coast and all the way over to the East Coast, and then all the way back to Utah at the end of the tour for USU, the other big college there. Which is weird. That's not how you would normally plan a tour, right? And this is not my original thought. Candace is the one that first brought this up. And that's weird. It's not impossible. It's not inconceivable. I mean, it's not like they were actually in a car road tripping to all of these events. They were probably flying to most of them. But still, why not put both of the Utah events right next to each other and just go once? You save a ton of money.
So we listened to this for a while. There's a Turkey Tom video that he's going to bring up here in a minute. So we're going to go skip past all this to that. And then I want to go to the Turkey Tom video because he said to watch it yesterday and I wanted to save that for the live stream. So let's skip up to here and then let's go there.
So let's dive into this this neighborhood stuff for a second and clear up a whole bunch of questions that we've kind of all had, whether we realized it or not, of like, who actually was where and doing what? Although, real quick, I should probably make you all aware of a new treasure trove of evidence that just dropped. What was his name?
Candace is Candace is the best, y'all.
I forget his channel's name.
Candace, bro.
So instead, we're going to look up
on the
Lance Twiggs Discord. Turkey Tom. Okay. If you don't know about Turkey Tom, I didn't know about Turkey Tom.
We're just going to go there now. So let's go.
I'd like to start this video by saying
my kids in their Roblox shorts showing up in my history. Goodness gracious. All right, so shout out Turkey Tom. Let's go over this video. Ian Carroll said this is showing a bunch of new evidence within the case. Pretty crazy stuff, and that we should go over it. I wanted to save it for this stream. So, yeah. Who is speaking? I don't even know what you're talking about, but if you don't like me speaking on my own channel, then get out of here. If you don't like me speaking on my own channel, get out of here. This is a channel full of positivity and unity. I got one of the best communities on YouTube. So please just, if you want to be a good person and be a part of the community, awesome. If not, then keep scrolling.
That I'm a little bit out of my depth here, considering the gravity of...
And apparently someone dumped all of this information on Turkey Tom. Ian Carroll, hold on. Ian Carroll said that once, when you're a reporter like this, you get information dumped on you like this, that this is just what you have to do. You got to take it and run with it. So this is what he made with it. Give me 1 second.
What I'm about to show you guys, but I'm going to try my best. With that out of the way, let's get a few basic facts straight. The date is September 10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk is shot and killed. Over the next few days, law enforcement and internet investigators pore over the available information to identify the killer. Eventually, they determine it to be Tyler Robinson, and they also realize that Tyler has a transgender romantic partner named Lance Twiggs. Tyler is arrested, Lance cooperates with the police, and then disappears from the public eye. 13 days later, I released a video going over all of the publicly available information about Tyler and Lance. Articles, witness testimony, Lance's TikTok and Reddit accounts, and I thought that was it. But then I received a message. This message was from a third party who was close to both of them and remained in contact for 6 years up until the attack took place. They reached out to me, providing never-before-seen information on the lead-up to what happened. To my knowledge, the only other people who have this are the FBI. Now, as I go over this information, you'll notice that some of it is redacted, but I've redacted it myself with the exclusive intention to preserve the anonymity of both this person and other people who are named, who have nothing to do with Tyler's crime. Now, keep in mind, these—
The guy was named Ian Carroll. Go check out his channel. Does great work, great deep dive, sources his facts very well, so go check him out. Right now we're watching a Turkey Tom video that he told us is necessary to watch. I figured I'd save it for the stream because, you know, I love chilling with you guys. So
these claims are being—
and we're at 7.3 or 7.43K now. You guys are just running it up. We've gained over like 60 subs this stream. It's just awesome. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys for the super chats. A lot of you guys got your name written on the wall twice today. Just painted this wall last summer, and now I'm writing names on it because I'm passionate, and I think it's awesome to engage with you guys this way.
Made by an anonymous leaker. There could be more to certain
Sid.
events that we're simply not aware of, and other details that may explain more of the story. Additionally, some of this video is my opinion and should be treated as such, but I've done my best to provide you all with the information I'm able to share to the extent it can be verified. In his first message to me, this person said, "Hello, I just watched your video on the Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler and thought you did a good job. I happen to know Tyler and Lance in real life. I don't take a lot of pictures, so I can't prove it very well, but I am in Discord servers where both of them are, including the one where Tyler posted his confession. I have some pictures of the apartments and some stories I can tell." There were 2 pictures attached underneath. One of Tyler's confession in the Discord chat that matched the ones published by Ken Klippenstein, which were then republished by every major news outlet. The other picture is a completely original photo of local police at Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs' place.
I don't know if you can hear me with this playing. Thank you for the sub, miss. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for the support today. It's been overwhelming. First day being monetized again. We're running it up. I appreciate it. All the subscribers and the you know, we're just on the road to 10,000. I couldn't be any more grateful, and I'm just so glad I got a good community that backs me. So thank you guys so much. And I won't talk anymore because I know I'm annoying and I mess up the video. So my bad.
Taken from across the street. For the sake of verification, he later also provided me with archives of the 3 Discord servers they shared, which I'll eventually go over the relevant parts of. Once this person's identity was verified, he proceeded to tell me about the state of Tyler and Lance's living space. The apartment would drastically shift from clean to super dirty, depending on the state of Lance's mood. I don't have too many pictures of most of the mess, but basically, he'd start living in the living room and just start turning it into his nest. After the first roommate moved out, and right after Tyler moved in like 2 weeks later, Lance had a really big breakdown. The living room went from a place guests came over to something that had to be hid. People still came over, but everyone got weirded out by all the trash. He basically had layers of wires, random Temu trinkets, decorations, random art projects, clothes, and empty alcohol containers everywhere. And if anyone touched it, he would get livid. One friend got banned from the apartment for a while because he kept touching the Temu trinkets. I wish I still had pictures.
Jay, P49M. By the way, if you don't like me talking on my own channel, then gladly go to Turkey Tom's channel and watch it. Gladly. If you don't like me talking on my own channel, then leave. This is my channel. I'll do as I please. Thank you for your time, though, and being in the chat. But hey, I'll do you a favor, and I'll just put you into the abyss. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by.
But I felt sort of guilty and deleted them since I knew Lance wasn't in the right state of mind. For context, I've been playing games with Lance and Tyler for like 6 years. I count myself kind of close to them, but I was trying to separate them from myself because being around them wasn't good for me. I say them, but Tyler was always level-headed and easygoing. But Lance could be anywhere from too depressed to talk to manic, wide-eyes, crazy person. I'll take a brief moment here to comment on the fact that in my original video, this is more or less the impression that I had, judging exclusively from Lance's more significant and expressive online presence relative to Tyler's almost non-existent digital paper trail. From Lance's Reddit account and the things his family members had to say about him, he clearly was more outspoken and in some ways unstable. There were Reddit posts of his mentioning being at odds with his family to the point of being kicked out, and he had also discussed a lot of substance abuse issues, which are a far cry from the quiet, even if uneasy relationship that Tyler seemed to have with his family. What was completely unknown unknown, and as far as I know, hasn't been published anywhere, is this combination of hoarding and mania that this person describes Lance as exhibiting. The messages continue. During this first nest phase, Lance started working very rarely. He worked with his dad for a tub repair company. They'd either repair tubs or install them at construction sites. But when Lance was super depressed or just too manic, he'd take the day off and hit his THC vape, drink, and scroll reels. Anyway, 2 weeks before Lance's first nest phase, when the apartment was mostly normal, Tyler moved in with Lance because he'd just dropped out of college and was tired of living with his parents. He had been working with his dad at a stone cutting business where they'd install countertops. Tyler was kind of your normal blue-collar Utah guy. Most conversations with him, he'd talk hunting, camping, gaming, and he loved to talk about fishing. Now, first off, the combination of depressants with cognitive stimulants are leading factors to severe anxiety, paranoia, depression, and even psychosis. And that's without mentioning the documented connection between weed and schizophrenia. Obviously, as I assume most of you know, weed basically has two components, THC and CBD. CBD is not psychoactive, and it's often associated with treatments for anxiety, pain, and inflammation. Meanwhile, THC is psychoactive, and despite it also having some therapeutic uses in the treatment of nausea and side effects of chemotherapy, THC is the component of marijuana that's associated with symptoms like paranoia, psychosis, and, like previously mentioned, schizophrenia. Now, obviously, the vast majority of stoners or casual smokers are not exhibiting these symptoms. This is not a typical thing. But in certain people who are predisposed, THC can absolutely trigger a sort of psychotic meltdown, or it can compound with other mental health issues to make them just much, much worse. In Lance's case, it sounds like he was using way too much pot, while simultaneously drinking heavily and scrolling reels. If there's any way someone can derive psychosis and mania from first principles, this is definitely up there. Now, in my original video about this topic, I mentioned that there were two specific periods of change for Lance and Tyler by extension. The first was 2020, when the pandemic hit, locking everyone inside their houses and apartments, and therefore driving them to spend a lot more time on the old computer. And as the Discord logs are going to show later, it's probably when Lance and Tyler started to communicate the most frequently, even if they were already gaming and talking prior. The second period was during 2024, which is when Tyler moved into the apartment with Lance. And as their anonymous peer here is saying, within 2 weeks of Tyler being there, Lance began his nest phase, as he puts it. Funnily enough, the one other instance I've ever heard of making a nest in your living room comes from Theo Vaughn talking about what he did during binges of the white dust kind of stimulant, if you know what I mean.
I remember that. I'll make a nest in my living room, dude. Boy.
And more than anything else you can think of.
Turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll be out on your own porch, you know?
Yeah.
While this description is obviously played up in its context, it's actually a pretty common experience to start hoarding while in states of paranoid mania, which is what Lance appeared to be going through. From his Reddit history, we know that Lance used to be a big fan of Jordan Peterson, who is widely known as the clean your room guy, repeatedly harping on how your living space reflects your psyche. If this leaker is telling the truth, then it would make sense that as Lance's mental state deteriorated, so did the physical space around him. With all of that information regarding Lance being corroborated by these messages, we also have the reveal that Tyler had dropped out of college and decided of his own volition to move out. In my original video, we had the information that he was in an electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College. But based on these messages, it seems he dropped out and was just working at a masonry business with his dad. Again, this matches the picture of Tyler that one can derive from all of the testimonies regarding what kind of person he was. So after about 5 years or so of being friends with Lance, he decides to move in with him. But at this point, there's no sign that the two are engaged in a romantic relationship. Their peer continues. I felt super bad when he first moved in.
Yo, what kind of skincare regimen did that kid have, bro? I mean, what? Is that kid? Man, he must have had some good skincare products. Oh my God. I'm just playing.
In a romantic relationship. Their peer continues. I felt super bad when he first moved in with Lance because it was normal for like 2 weeks, and then Lance went nuts, and the entire downstairs just became his nest. He'd be doing experiments in the kitchen, which were mostly just growing mold in Tupperware mugs, and the kettle with random Temu trinkets and rocks submerged in them. Every once in a while, I'd try to have a talk with Lance and try to get him to realize he needed help without making him go ballistic. Now, this is actually bizarre. One of the things I didn't pay that much attention to in my first video about this was that Lance made 2 posts regarding growing fungi, one of them in r/mushroom growers, and another one of them in r/shrooms. However, they were very brief non sequiturs that didn't at all give the impression of how deeply invested Lance was into growing mushrooms, which apparently he was, at least during his episodes. The interest in mushrooms peaking when Lance is at his craziest reminds me of the Cult of the Lamb cordyceps that takes over one of the characters and makes him want to grow more mushrooms. This is extremely strange behavior, but my personal autism aside, the messages continue. I'm not going to say it was all just him being insane. His mom is super Mormon and also kind of crazy, so there's that. And all of the drugs: weed, LSD, shrooms, DMT, and I think he said Molly, but I'm not sure. Also, alcoholic levels of alcohol. Lance has always been a little weird and quirky, but never really crazy. He was constantly arguing with his mom every time he saw her, and then ranting about Republicans and Mormons when he got home. I'd sometimes talk with him for like 4 hours of him just ranting about his mom and family. He really hates Mormons. Also, at the time, politically, Lance and I would both probably describe ourselves as libertarian, and Tyler was very apolitical. On his Reddit account, there is one relatively old post about Lance having substance abuse problems, and you could assume that due to him no longer posting about it, he no longer struggled with it. Apparently, it was the opposite, as over time, it only got worse. And it's really the mention here of DMT that stands out to me. While the other drugs are bad enough and can permanently damage your brain, especially in combination with each other, even people who like DMT will tell you about how careful you have to be about using it, even if you try your best to do it in a therapeutic setting. But clearly, Lance was in no state of mind to manage his substance intake in any way that resembled healthy. It almost freaks me out how easily someone like Lance could get his hands on that kind of thing, despite being completely out of his mind for months on end. This set of messages also confirm another suspicion of mine expressed in the first video. Prior to 2024, neither Lance nor Tyler were particularly political, as they only ever expressed opinions that could be loosely classified as socially liberal, which most young Zoomers are by default anyway. However, this changed suddenly and drastically during the year that they lived together. He had his nest phase for probably 3 to 4 months before he sort of went back to normal. But at the tail end of his nest phase, after we had both talked for a while, he told me he was trans, and that it wouldn't change anything, and that I could even use whatever pronouns, and he wouldn't care. Over the next week and a half, the living room got dismantled. He vacuumed and cleaned the kitchen a bit, but he still kept one mold experiment outside for some reason. It was kind of relieving to not see so much trash lying around. We weren't allowed to toss even the most mundane trash like napkins and Taco Bell sauce packets, which there was an entire drawer of, so seeing all the cans and bottles disappear was super nice. Whenever we came over, people commented on how it's nice that we could hang out without being scared of accidentally touching trash or a trinket and having Lance freak out. We'd have a mostly weekly Magic the Gathering night at the apartment where everyone would come drink, get high, and play Magic. Lance started attending again after he became mostly normal. It's interesting to see that him identifying as trans came while he was in his nesting phase, but he maintained it after it had ended. It does startle me a bit how basically all of Lance's friend group, who frequently visited Lance and Tyler's house, just kind of tolerated this going on for months. I have no idea how it's possible to put up with a situation so clearly deranged for that long, but hey, different strokes for different folks. Now, it's this next set of messages that I find really interesting. Between all of his turns while playing Magic, Lance would go hang out with Tyler, and we'd have to call him to the tables every time it was his turn. One of my gym buddies was the first to pick up on Tyler and Lance being really close. I was in denial for months because I thought Tyler was straight, and also I kind of did not want it to be true. Eventually, I kind of snapped out of it like the nth time I saw them asleep, cuddling on the couch. I kind of didn't think too much of it since Lance would get super cuddly every time he got drunk, which is how I think they got together, because I'm pretty sure Tyler was a virgin when he moved in. So probably when Lance was in the cuddly mood, probably something happened. That's just my guess. This is where a lot of things start clicking together. Tyler, an introverted gamer who, as far as anyone could tell, had no prior relationships of any significance, spent 4 months living with his best friend, Lance, who apparently got overly cuddly with everyone while drunk, and simultaneously had the proclivity to drink too often. It's not surprising that this was the outcome of a touch-starved virgin gamer living in the same house as a touchy-feely, seemingly manic trans person. However, a while after Lance had mostly gone back to normal, things started to intensify again. I started noticing changes in Lance's political views as the presidential election got closer. He amped up the complaints of old people staring at him, which probably was because he dressed like a stoner and not because he was female presenting, because all he did in that department was grow out his hair and wear mascara every once in a while. He also hated that the construction workers would misgender him, which I thought was weird since he said he was fine with any pronoun. Tyler wouldn't really get political until after the election. He'd sometimes just casually bring up the latest thing Trump had done and complain about what it'd do to the country, but in a very level-headed way. Before the election, Lance's friend group was the quirky LGBT group with a lot of mental illnesses. Not saying the two are linked, but that's how my friends knew them. They're the people who are in Lance's server for the most part. After the election, they became a lot more political, but not to an extremist level. By this point, I could safely say Lance and Tyler were some flavor of left-wing, while I'd become tired of politics and mostly apolitical, but never anything I thought was like dangerous. At some point, they told me about their relationship and were pretty open about it after that. It became very uncomfortable for me because while I don't think of myself as homophobic, seeing two dudes constantly make out was a bit much. Also, since Lance's room was always super messy, they would bang in Tyler's room, and I didn't like hearing it. I cannot imagine how much it sucks to be in this guy's shoes. While this is a bit out of character for Tyler, who's been consistently described as reserved, it does match Lance's behavior of being overly transparent and letting other people, even people who randomly visited him, see into his intimate life to a point where it's concerning. It's also fitting that Lance's pre-existent paranoid behaviors were now manifesting in correlation to his gender, as despite not being particularly female presenting or being concerned with being seen and treated as a woman, he still took issue with anyone who perceived him as a man. People who are paranoid often assume others look upon them negatively, no matter how asinine the reason may be. Clearly, Lance's mental state was deteriorating, and whether intentionally or not, he was dragging Tyler along with him. And this became increasingly transparent over time. Their mutual acquaintance continues. Lance started becoming more and more erratic again until, at the end of December, he just had another nuclear meltdown after having another argument. Also, a couple months before, we noticed Lance had been growing breasts and said that he'd been taking black market HRT, which I do not know what that entailed, but I think it was making him very erratic. So he basically shut down for like 2 weeks, not talking, just hitting his vapes in the living room in the dark. So here we have the mention of possibly one of the most concerning details about what kind of substances Lance was on at this point in time. Taking synthetic hormones of any kind, whether the kind and quantity your body already produces or not, is extremely dangerous and can cause pretty much every kind of health issue imaginable, including mental. Even if you're a guy and you take just a little bit of testosterone, you can suffer all kinds of side effects. So obviously, in Lance's case, the risks are much greater by default, and it's made exponentially more dangerous given the circumstances. This is someone who has proven himself to be delusional, chronically sleep deprived, and prone to overdoing substances. There is simply no chance he was mentally well enough to manage and administer dosages of any kind, let alone procure or produce untainted bathtub HRT. While studies on this stuff are hard to come by, there have been a few documented cases of people in similar situations to Lance. For example, there's one case of a person in their early 20s with a history of depression and psychosis who self-induced drug intoxication via HRT, which led to a worsening of their psychosis and all of their other psychiatric disorders. Uncoincidentally, this is when Lance becomes more unhinged than ever before, as his peer continues to allege. I thought he kind of started going back to normal after that because he started talking again, but I was so wrong. I had another magic night at the end of January, so even though Lance wasn't completely fine, I just kind of did it to test the waters. I should have guessed because the nest was starting to form again. He was watching Doctor Who in the living room, and so I thought if he was just doing that, he'd be fine. But people started to show up and talk before we started, and he just started yelling at us from the other room to shut up, which we thought was a joke since this was standard magic night procedure. He yelled again, and then we got quiet until enough people showed up to start a game. During the game, one of my more autistic friends started to bring up transgenders in sports. He literally couldn't get any further than those 2 words before Lance yelled at him to shut up from the other room. And to everyone's amazement, he tried to bring it up like 3 more times in rapid succession, being shouted down literally not even a second after he started his sentence every time. It became a very
to everybody that's new to the chat that's asking about the autopsy for Charlie Kirk, I will go back and play the leaked phone call again. I found it. Steve Peters is the one that posted it. I just played it earlier in the live. I'll go back and replay it. Again, this is all alleged. I'm not saying anything for fact. I just got remonetized, so I'm not trying to get myself knocked out the way again, but it is interesting. So we'll go back and check it out after this video.
Awkward game. It's pretty funny to think back on now. Bro could not take a hint. After that, more people showed up, and we started having 2 games going, and the mood mostly stabilized, and Lance just came in with sort of a loopy grin and a bottle of something. I'll summarize this part briefly since this person goes into a bit of detail about what happened, but Lance proceeded to throw this guy's extra rare magic cards around to try and get his attention, and afterwards, he went upstairs, at which point everyone started hearing loud thumping. Apparently, Lance had gone into a temper tantrum so intense that he was literally thrashing around on the floor, which hopefully was just a tantrum and not some kind of seizure, because at this point, Lance is really a prime candidate for that to happen. Their peer continues. After that, Lance went mental. I'd get to Lance and Tyler's place, and he'd be super wide-eyed with either a loopy grin or a rictus grin like the Joker, depending on his mood. The nest came back full force, and Lance started living downstairs full-time again. This is a picture of a kind of cleaned-up version. Imagine this type of mess, but denser and all over the living room and kitchen counters. He started playing on his DS and drawing stuff in, I think, Pitcho chat, and scribbling it all out while giggling with the wide-eyed Joker smile. He'd either be doing this, or his experiments, or talking with ChatGPT day in and day out. He hardly ever slept. The experiments got scarier too, like jugs of water with a whisk full of aluminum foil that had 2 copper wires coming out of them. The water was clear one day, and at some point, I think the wires got plugged into the outlet because the water turned brown and the aluminum foil was pretty burnt. He also started leaving little papers around the house that he had scribbled on while doing that giggling thing. It's at this point that our leaker here sent an extensive set of pictures he'd taken of the state of the apartment and the notes Lance left around. First is an image of their magic table, completely vandalized with garbage that mostly resembles electrical stuff, which is odd because Tyler was the one in an electrical apprenticeship program, not Lance. In the background, we can see what looks to be some kind of aquarium or big glass container with rocks in it, which may be the mold experiments mentioned in the messages. Underneath it is what looks to be a package for a rock tumbler, which makes sense given that Tyler occasionally did masonry with his dad. But it's when we move to what's actually on the table that things get increasingly bizarre. And we have isolated pictures of all of the particularly interesting items. I'm gonna say right now that I'm actually a specialist in literally nothing, so this is just gonna be me trying to interpret these to the best of my abilities, and the screenshots I'll be looking at will be made available in the description for those of you who want to take a look for yourself and see if you can extract some sense out of the madness of Lance's post-it notes. The first one we'll go over is this one, which contains a set of spiral-like scribbles that may be disconnected attempts at making the Glock logo, given the squared spiral G and the word lock near it. Right above this, there's also what looks to be the small phrase E equals T, and elsewhere on the note, I can also make out the words regent and temp, although I have no idea if this is alluding to anything in particular. On the right side of the image, another post-it has the sentence all of separate underneath what looks to be the portmanteau no linguals. This is very rough to make out, obviously, but bilingual means that someone knows 2 languages. Monolingual means that someone knows 1. Therefore, no lingual would mean someone who knows no languages, or someone who is nonverbal. The next set of scribbles is a bit more cohesive, although I'm using that word pretty loosely here at this point. Here, we can see stop looking for others at the top, and Terraria buggin tear ableist in the middle, which I think may be some wordplay with terrible and ableist. At the bottom of this page, an illustrated version of the word sine wave is written above lose it at the tude, next to a picture of some bizarre looking animal. This at the tude bit to me is very reminiscent of how schizophrenic people will break words down and obsess with syllables, word morphology, and portmanteaus. There's another example of this in one of the post-it notes where he writes, I'm alone, obviously doing what I'm talking about here. On another page, we have monsumus sumptuous right at the top, followed by SFTU piteous, which I assume is like shut the flip up, idiots, maybe. Further down the page, there's a rough sketch of America with the number 21.0 inside of it, and nearby phrases like go to the store and small box go listen to act. A lot of this stuff reads like Lance is just writing his mundane thoughts or whatever he's seeing on his phone in the most cryptic and insane way possible, but some of it does stand out to me as potentially meaningful or at least consistent. On a post-it note, he writes down TY, and Miss My BF, obviously in reference to Tyler. On another one, we have Stop Crying, Stop Stopping, and in one of the pages, we have the phrase full stop, very jagged at the bottom, although this may be bull or something else. On this page, there's something pretty interesting, as the words federated and fed-related are right next to what looks to be the word CIA, and further down, a drawing of 4 symbols that ever so slightly resemble what you'd see on a set of Zener cards. If you're not familiar with what these are, Zener or Zener cards were created in the early 20th century to test if people had extrasensory perception, and much later on, they were frequently reported as being used in gifted and talented education programs. There are a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding this topic, some of them being more credible than others, but they typically have to do with the CIA project MKUltra, and how GATE may be some kind of offshoot of it. I won't get into the merits of these theories, not only because Wendigoon should be the one to do that, but also because it doesn't really matter as much as the reason why people are drawn to this topic online in the first place. You see, if you check on Reddit, the majority of people who engage in discussions about the nature of GATE programs are people who were in GATE themselves, obviously, meaning they were, at some point, considered to be gifted. You may have already heard about this, but there's a sizable phenomenon of gifted kid burnout, where people who used to be overachievers in their childhood, usually in the academic sense, could no longer keep up as they got older, and so their life spiraled out of control. Part of this phenomenon is that when they can't get over their attachment to how they were treated when they were seen as special, they come up with all sorts of extraneous reasons to justify their decline and convince themselves that they're still gifted in some way. Given that Lance is quite literally documented on video as a gifted kid, being an adept piano player from a young age, and his life definitely went downhill as he got older, it would make sense for Lance, in one of his weed, paranoia, alcohol, and hallucinogen real maxing binges, to stumble upon this stuff while doom scrolling and decide to scribble about it. This notion that Lance is still attached to the idea he's special or somehow intellectually gifted is later corroborated by this anonymous peer. But even just examining his projects, Lance clearly thinks he's doing something here. Among the incoherent scribbles, there's hot glue and electrical wiring and batteries, which leads me to suspect he actually believed he was putting something together. And maybe some of these scribbles are, at least in his delusional mind, blueprints or rough sketches. At least some of his drawings had symbols that resembled electrical circuit diagrams, some even written on books about electrical stuff like impedance phenomena, while others had mathematical symbols as if he was writing down equations. Although, of course, none of it actually makes any sense to me or probably you. I will say, some of this stuff legitimately gets pretty scary. To think that this guy melted his own brain to the point where he was drawing this is horrifying. Besides the consistent appearance of circuit diagram-like straight lines leading to symbols and drawings and references to spirals and spiraling, there is one image in particular that really got my attention. On what looks to be 2 pieces of cardboard, Lance wrote, "Hormonal flux dash is way fluctuative," followed by definitely orchid denialism. If you don't know, orchid is actually the medical term for balls. So with the context here being him mentioning hormones and of course identifying as trans in the few months prior to Tyler's attack, orchid denialism could be a reference to him outright not acknowledging or recognizing his balls. I can't make any other conclusion besides that one, but as I said earlier, all of the images will be available for you to peruse. And although a lot of it is just random babble, I am hoping that by someone else other than I taking a look at this, there can be some information extracted from these images. The anonymous peer continues. "These scribbles look bad, but it's even worse when you saw his face when he was doodling it, combined with the giggling and how vigorously he would scribble. It was very scary. And the way he spoke was weird. It was a bunch of words, but none of them made sense together, or sometimes it'd be in rhyme, or just sometimes he'd only smile and point at things. If I was
Bro, why are you back here? Like, you're tripping, bro. I've really been talking about, like, this whole time I've been talking. I'm obviously letting the video play because people complain that I talk too much or people complain this. Like, bro, would you just, like, you're out of here again, dude. Like, I get so sick of these people who come in here and say this stuff and they haven't even been here the whole stream. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is wild. Like, this guy has like an infatuation with coming and harassing me, dude. And the thing is that this guy, like, what, honey? Yes, just give me a second. Yep, just give me 1 second, honey. Like, I'm reporting him, dude. He continues to come here and say stuff, and he hasn't even been here. Like, he hasn't even been here the whole stream. Everybody who's been here, have I not been trying to talk and trying to go into other things and just let the video play so we can go into the screenshots? Have I not? Like, what kind of stream would this be if I just talked the whole time? Like, good night, bro. Like, straight up. Thank you so much, Lauren. Like, for real. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've been talking. Like, I just reported him. He was here before because I was demonetized and he was talking crap about me then. Now I'm back monetized and he's just mad. So it's fine. I just reported him and I blocked him from the channel. It's just crazy. Thank you for the overwhelming support in the chat. I'm going to let the video play, grab my daughter her charger, and then I will come back and talk a little more. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the support.
Religious, I would have called an exorcist. The smile was so scary, and he showed me what conversations he was having with ChatGPT. He told me he solved some equation backwards and showed me the ChatGPT text as proof. The chats were just paragraphs of random Greek and I think Roman symbols with numbers and random letters going on and on. He'd somehow gotten it to respond in kind as well. He told me to start scrolling faster, and so I did. And he kept telling me faster until he was basically screaming at me to scroll faster, and the ChatGPT chats just went on like forever. I was sat there scrolling at max speed for at least like a minute or two, and by the bottom, it was still in the weird symbols. He started yelling at me that Nikola Tesla was abused by the people in his time, and that no one we knew was smart enough to solve that equation, including me, because he is way smarter than me. This was all in weird, broken up sentences too. Definitely added to the creepy factor. Tyler told me that Lance had basically been up for like 3 days straight talking to ChatGPT at that time. It's interesting that he mentions he'd get an exorcist if he was religious, because when I was going over Lance's Reddit posts, he talks about how once his family threw him out of the house, saying he was possessed by a demon. If this is what they were having to deal with, that becomes a lot more understandable. As far as the ChatGPT conversations in Latin and Greek, another common fixation of people who are schizophrenic is hermeneutics, the interpretation and analysis of biblical texts, often in their—
Yeah, I literally had to, for some reason, chargers just continuously to keep breaking in my daughter's device, so I had to go get it out. Thank you, Meg. You're doing a great job. You're an awesome, amazing dad. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate you. People can stay whatever they want, bro. Stranded Orange. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the love in the chat. It just annoys me. Like, he was back around before and was like, he had like 3 different accounts. He'd come on and like just talk hella mad crap to me. And he like just joined. He doesn't even know how the stream's been. We've been live for 2 hours. Like, so I just ended up reporting him. Like, it's bullcrap. And he's probably one of the reasons why I got demonetized before, because these people want to mass report you for no reason. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not going to get upset about it. It's just frustrating. Like, why would you come to my live and like waste, like, why are you like using your time to do that? Like, it's just wild to me, bro. It's just crazy. Don't understand it. People, you know, I'm very happy. It's a good day for me. I just got remonetized. I'm very passionate about this channel, and I've been working very hard to get it to the point where I could get it remonetized and change up my channel completely. And I've done a very good job. So for people to come back and, you know, say some stuff to me like that, unknowingly what's going on, it's just annoying and frustrating. So my bad, you guys, but thank you so much for the support. Like I said, it's not about the amount of people, it's about the quality of the people, and I have such a good community that supports me. Those one hater here and there doesn't bug me, because I appreciate you guys so much.
Original language, or as close to it as possible. There are huge online communities for esoteric and occult interpretations of the Bible revolving around sacred geometry, or gematria, which, given Lance's repeated use of broken maths in his notes and scribbles, may have contributed to his delusions here. Again, this doesn't mean that this was actually happening, but it's a decent guess as to why those 2 specific languages and equations keep popping up in Lance's activities, despite him showing no interest in foreign or dead languages elsewhere. The messages continue. He'd sometimes just be sobbing in Tyler's arms, and Tyler would be rocking him back and forth. We all thought Tyler was a trooper for putting up with Lance in that state. So the next image attached in these messages is one that I don't think I can show you guys on YouTube, but you will be able to check it for yourself. in the description, but it's a used condom on the sink of the bathroom in the common area. We know this photo was taken in their apartment because the counter, sink, toilet, and other details match this photo of their sink taken from a Zillow listing. The same applies to another photo of the table in their living room, which once again matches the Zillow listing. As we can see that.
What's crazy too about this apartment is that, like, I don't know, I'm surprised too that, like, the guy didn't go to Candace. Like, he went to Turkey Tom. Like, that's kind of weird too. You think that Candace would have been the first one to break it. Maybe she's gonna break it when she comes back Monday. But everything in here just looks wild. Like, yeah, look at these apples too. They look like they're the perfect example of a painted apple, right? But yeah, I mean, yes, baby. Thank you. It's a picture. Yes, Auntie Chelsea. But yeah, I mean, this
At the window with the white blinds is in the same location. As nasty as this is to even take into consideration, it is worth noting that it is completely empty, which leads me to think that even if Tyler was still engaging with Lance in this way, it was more out of pity or a sense of duty than anything else. The anonymous peer says, crazily enough, while Lance was like that, Tyler was still hitting it. When I told Lance I would be leaving the general area, it was crazy. He snapped back to reality for a second and just thanked me for all the good times we had had hanging out throughout the years. After that, I think Lance had been brought back just a little bit, and he even let Tyler take him out of the house to start seeing a psychologist. It almost made me feel bad because, not gonna lie, I was starting to become really apathetic and not really care about what happened. Like, it was just so much energy to try and deal with Lance. Tyler was a real trooper for dealing with him. Lance even calmed down enough for us to hold like 3 more magic nights. We all thought Lance would be okay because he had Tyler, who was basically his handler at this point, to take care of him. Eventually, my friend who lived across the street from their apartment let me know that Lance had gotten into an argument with his grandpa, who owned the apartment, and his grandpa had taken his car away. This I'm not sure about, but I suspect it put him into another one of these spirals. I imagine Lance was just alone with Tyler in the apartment, just driving Tyler crazy. I'd be hard-pressed to stay sane while living alone with Lance while he's like that. I joined a couple Discord calls with Tyler and Lance would say one thing and then be silent, and Tyler would just talk normally. Tyler even joined a call 2 weeks before the assassination and acted completely normal. All of this is really interesting to me because while we did have an inkling that neither Tyler nor Lance were in their right mind by the time the attack took place, it seems like the situation was that Tyler was being subjected to
What's crazy too is that Lance is gone. Like, he's just gone. Like, and then there's like stuff related to MK Ultra. I mean, this whole thing is just wild. The scribblings really makes it seem like he was schizo. And then where'd he go? Where'd Lance go? You know, it's all crazy.
An incessant barrage of genuinely psychotic ramblings from a paranoid and deranged Lance, who had recently become significantly more political. As is customary for people with these kinds of delusions, they start fixating on prominent people, imagining they have some specific relationship to that person, usually that they're being stalked or otherwise directly antagonized by them. This is probably when the name of Charlie Kirk entered the mix, and while it was probably just one among many delusions Lance would probably forget about by the time his episode ended, it seems it seeped into Tyler's mind as the cause of Lance's problems. Obviously, there's the political context of it, with Lance being trans and Charlie being conservative and criticizing the trans community. But judging from the leaked messages between Lance and Tyler, it does seem Lance himself is taken aback and
by the way, to all the trolls, the reason why I keep getting up is because I have kids. So, yeah.
shocked that Tyler did what he did. If I were to guess, Tyler took some of the things Lance must have said while in a state of delusion to heart, while Lance had already forgotten about them a while later. Their peer concludes his messages by saying, after talking to another friend apparently right after he did the shooting, he joined a bunch of Discord calls asking if anyone had seen the news while breathing heavily. And literally the next day, he was in call, just chatting with people while playing his puzzle games. And also for the record, Tyler 100% calls Lance my love when they are talking alone. Hopefully this sheds some light on what it was like behind the scenes. With all of this context provided, I think it's beyond the shadow of a doubt that the last messages exchanged between Tyler and Lance are real. It also elucidates the nature of their relationship, as Lance was someone Tyler was mostly taking care of rather than having a normal relationship dynamic with. From the looks of it, it seems like Lance is someone who, at least at one point, was very self-aware and proactive as a person, being confident enough to argue with others over his worldview, while Tyler has always been quiet and stayed in the background of any setting he found himself in.
And to the person that said autopsy, he had his neck blown out. Why? What more do you need? It's pretty obviously why he died. No, it's not. You do an autopsy to prove what they said happened. I mean, it's pretty. it's what you do for every other person that passes away. Like, I mean, come on, it's pretty evident, you guys. This is wild, though. I mean, this is just insane.
Including his relationship with Lance. Unfortunately, it turns out that he was simply less expressive of his thoughts. Now, the leaker also sent me their Discord logs.
What's crazy too is Discord came out and said that these messages never happened.
And this dynamic of Lance being the expressive one while Tyler played a subservient role is also reflected there, as Lance messaged the chats way more frequently and even had his own server. The logs I got are of 3 different servers that Tyler and Lance were parts of. Lance under the name Lanceolotl and Fluxolotl, and Tyler is the name Zealous_Monkey and Bedbug Inspector. These messages date all the way back to 2020, and although most of it is pretty irrelevant stuff and boring, it is kind of spooky to see that at some point these guys were like completely normal.
Well, you'd think, bro, if not everyone needs an autopsy and everybody's questioning the situation and the story here, you'd think that they'd want to have an autopsy to prove they're not lying, right?
Sending memes to each other on Discord. Interestingly enough, Tyler frequently spoke of going fishing or making fishing trips that lasted for days with no cell service where he would speak to no one. While this isn't really negative, it does differentiate Tyler from his peers. There's one kind of introvert who stays indoors and plays on the computer, and then there's go fishing in the middle of nowhere with no cell service for days kind of introvert. Still, at least early on, it's clear that the people in this server have no issue with offensive humor and don't necessarily swing politically in any given direction, although there are a few odd things that I have to note, even if they are just jokes. In mid-2020, someone else in the server tags Lance and says, "Nobody said gross when you said you wanted to bang your 2-year-old cousin, Lance."
That's crazy. That's wow.
Context of this is that the same guy who sent this message said he wanted to bang snake girls, and Lance responded by saying gross. But honestly, this doesn't explain that much. Another interesting tidbit from these chats is when the topic of religion came up, prompting Lance to say, "Isn't Brigham Young the one with all the quotes about how black people are cursed and can't hold the priesthood until they get uncursed by God?" For context, Brigham Young was an early leader of the LDS Church. In response, the person with whom he was talking said that most religions start screwed up, implying that they would get better over time. To which Lance replied, "And most still are," basically shutting it down. Long before the gender issue was something Lance was invested in, his earliest strong opinion is a clear anti-religious sentiment. Still, at no point here is there any sign that Lance's opinion is unquestioningly shared by the entire server, as most people here express pretty reasonable and mixed opinions. Around the same time that those messages about Brigham Young were sent, they were discussing politics in video games, but no one was really arguing as much as they were just expressing their views in a friendly manner. Eventually, Lance says auth-right lib-left unity, referring to the squares of the political compass of authoritarian right and liberal left. So clearly politics weren't taken too seriously by this friend group. A little while later, still in 2020, Tyler can be seen commenting on the presidential debate, saying that it was hilarious, but making no further comment. In September 2020, Lance says, "Femboy Friday greater than Tomboy Tuesday, White Girl Wednesday isn't where it's at," followed by White King Wednesday. These seem to purely be jokes.
Bro, who gets on these text chains and like talks? Like this must be like the lowest of the low people that have like no social skills, that don't go out, that get on these Discord servers, that have these conversations and like get radicalized. It seems like this is fucking weird, dude. Pardon my language.
As he showed no signs of identifying as a femboy at this point in time. As a matter of fact, when someone else sends a few messages saying, "Femboy hypnosis is finally working, my nipples are so puffy," Jesus Christ, 100% referencingly enough, at least back in 2020, Tyler seems to be the one who was more politicized from the Discord messages. At one point, he went as far as to suggest that freedom of speech should be amended so that vaccine and COVID skepticism was not protected by it and could get you punishment by the government. Also, I I've repeatedly seen people claim that Tyler was a furry, but in these chats, he seems to deny it.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, in that picture right here.
Repeatedly seen people claim that Tyler was a furry, but in these chats...
Welcome in, welcome in. Yo, he looks evil in this picture. He's like, yeah, I'm in Discord servers. Okay, I'm sorry, that was a bit too much. But yeah, I mean, he looks evil in this picture, you guys. Holy crap. Just saying.
He seems to deny it, as when another user says he is one, he replies by saying, I told someone I wasn't going to watch their anime one time and get called a goddamn furry. This country is going downhill. Earlier on, even Lance was open to cracking some more edgy jokes, like me proving that being black is a myth and internet drama culture to some extent. The reason why is because there's a good few messages of him talking to someone else about Terry Davis, where he calls Terry a weird nerd, but acknowledges that he has a sad story, while expressing no hang-ups about someone else in the server.
Bruh, I'm trying to get this playback speed stuff done.
Echoing Terry's use of the N-word to describe CIA agents. There's also a good few messages in which Lance can be seen discussing Chris Chan and his current girlfriend, Flutter, where Lance says Christorians must be praising the sun, with one odd message comparing someone's looks to Janky, which could be in reference to someone else in the server, but most likely is in reference to Isabella Janky, one of Chris Chan's most infamous tormentors and A-logs. As of 2022, Lance sent a few messages complaining about H3H3, saying this: can't stand the podcast or new content. His old videos are still good. I don't understand how he was able to go from genuinely goofy and enjoyable
I don't know who watches that guy. I definitely don't watch that guy.
content to purely bad political takes and one of the most boring podcasts I've listened to. Half the time, he won't even let guests talk. He just interrupts them to make a bad joke and then doesn't let them finish. Another interesting token of Lance talking about the kind of content he interacted with online is his positive review of Wendigoon's content, which seems to come from Isaiah's videos on FNAF lore based on other messages sent by Lance to the server. To put it simply, up until some point in 2024, like I already suspected in my first video, Lance was mostly normal and didn't take much of anything very seriously. Even when his Doomscroll nest phase began, he was still capable of making light of what he was up to, saying the following: I have begun only sleeping on the couch, cooler downstairs, and less room to move, or I fall off/get eaten. Tyler, on the other hand, seldom engaged in the same degree of joking as Lance did. The most I could find on him suggesting an interest in edgier online content is a GIF that he posted of Gypsy Crusader. When he did send text messages to the server's chat, it was usually to give people a small window into his private life. In 2020, there was some conversation between him and other users talking about a YouTube channel he once had, which contained a tour of his bedroom. Unfortunately, as far as I know, and according to the messages Tyler sent here, this video and the entire channel have become lost media. In 2021, he said that
Bro, someone made it with a school email? That is wild.
his brother had accidentally discharged a firearm and shot a hole in the wall, with no further comments from Tyler. In 2023, it seems he became a bit more talkative, and he shared a few more times about his electrical apprenticeship program and what kinds of things he had to do in it. But any apparent character development for Tyler came to a screeching halt in late 2023 to 2024, when Tyler's messages became noticeably more politicized, some of them in reference to war in the Middle East, and some of them joking about the assassination attempt on Trump, saying snowflake liberals can't shoot straight because they too busy being gay. While he was definitely still reading the room, so to speak, and not breaking into a rant, he clearly became more agitated about these things. Curiously, another member of the group chat was at a campus of all places when a shooting took place, and Lance responded with concern. All of a sudden, this agitation too gave way to something else, mostly silence, as Lance became increasingly present in servers and started one of his own, the femboy server, as he put it. Right around the time they started dating, Tyler became increasingly inactive, even less expressive than he was initially. Most of the information from this time period comes from Lance, who notified the group chat when he was going on a date with Tyler or watching TV shows with him. Speaking of TV shows, it's quite possible that the show they were watching was Beastars, the big furry anime show, because Lance discussed it in the server on a few occasions. Now, from late 2024 to early 2025, some of Lance's messages further corroborate the claims made by his and Tyler's anonymous peer. First off, he says that he's been chronically sleeping from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that it's been wreaking havoc on his life. Then, we have a ton of messages in his own server where he's talking to ChatGPT, although I'm sure this is only a fraction of the full extent of his communications with it. Lastly, we have Lance inviting everyone in his server to attend the anti-Trump No Kings protest. Over the previous half a decade worth of Discord messages, nothing from Lance comes even close to as clear of a political expression as this. As far as Tyler's presence in Lance's server, one of the last messages I was able to find of his was sent in August, where he simply says, "I am very ill." Within a month of this message, the tragic day of September 10th comes around, and the following day, Tyler sends his confession message to their old friend group server. It's interesting to me that he sent—
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I've been holding it in for a minute after this video. I gotta go to the bathroom, but then we're gonna go into some of these screenshots.
it in this server and not to Lance's new server, because I'm not sure why that is. It could just be that he was less familiar with the people there, but based on the kind of messages sent there, which we're going to go over later, it could be that he wanted to avoid having anyone say something that resembled support for his actions. In the original group chat, one of the most prominent users replied, saying this: "Hey everyone, if you haven't seen the news yet, Tyler's post above is true. He was taken into custody earlier today for the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Regardless of the horrible actions that took place, we must take this moment to remember that God is a living and loving God who loves all his children. God calls sinners to be his saints, and I ask that you all take a quiet moment to pray for Tyler and his repentance." While Charlie Kirk's politics were not acceptable,
Bruh, so you're telling me that Lance went on Discord and said all this? Like, was like, yeah, he did it, but I'm posting for him.
to some, I ask that we all say a prayer for him and his family during these confusing
He
times.
said, bro didn't even go out like that. Didn't deserve to go out like that. Sad. R.I.P. I guess. Just saw the video. Holy. Dead. Oh, wow. That's crazy, bro. That's insane.
Love you all. God bless. Given the clearly religious nature of this post, it's safe to say that this particular Discord server was pretty varied in what kind of people were in it, especially since it mostly went quiet after the attack on Charlie Kirk. Over on Lance's server, Lance's final message there was from a day after the shooting, tagging a user that, as of the archiving of the messages, was no longer in the server. After Tyler's crime took place, many of the users complained about the harassment and unwanted attention from journalists and random people online digging up everybody Lance was connected to. That's a perfectly reasonable reaction, especially since, as far as I can tell, most of them just occasionally played video games with Lance, so their connection to Tyler was tenuous at best, even if they shared a Discord server. But there are a few things I want to go over that I didn't mention in my previous video.
Shout out Ireland. God bless. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the See Me Now family. We have gained over 60, 70 subscribers today. Amazing. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys thank you to you who have super chatted. I have a bunch of names that have been written on the wall today behind me. I'm trying to fill up the wall behind me with super chat names. Thank you guys very much. God bless.
Such as the fact that Tyler had a few blurbs of unusual online presence that I hadn't seen. For example, he had a DeviantArt under his older handle Crafton247 where he lists himself as they/them. It's not possible for this account to belong to someone else that created it after the assassination, as it was created 2 years ago. Then we have another account with the same exact handle, this time on Fur Affinity, but there doesn't seem to be any significant activity on it, just like on DeviantArt. And for those of you who don't know, Fur Affinity is like the furry website. It's the #1 furry website, okay? Now there's also 2 Reddit accounts under the names Crafton247 and Crafton248, neither of which contain any significant info. There's one post on each account, both of some pretty mundane content and from years ago, long before he was dating Lance and became more politicized. Now lastly, there are the Steam accounts of both Tyler and Lance. Tyler was clearly much more active on Steam, being level 50 on the platform. It is interesting that Tyler once set his name on there as Donald Trump, but besides that, nothing of note really. Part of why there's very little to say is that Tyler clearly set most of his settings to more private options, which again is pretty reflective of the kind of guy he was.
My question is still, who is in the pictures that the FBI released? Because this just does not look like him, bro. Like, welcome in, Kimberly. Welcome to the family. And I wouldn't say I'm right wing or left wing. I'm just independent, and I search for the truth, and I search for unity at this point. But yeah, I mean, who is this guy?
Lance, on the other hand, had pretty much every facet of his profile completely public, where we can see that the last game he played was 2 days after Charlie's death, and his profile has been completely inactive since then. Given the testimony from Tyler and Lance's friend, even people who knew them in real
Damn, he was even playing games after Charlie passed, bro. That's crazy.
life and frequented their living space only ever caught glimpses of the exact nature of their relationship. Based on the last few months prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, as far as I understand, they weren't really having anyone over, and their output of messages to their online friends also significantly decreased. I have done my best to contact Lance about all of these claims and get his side of what happened, but he has not responded to 3 different requests for comment. Unless one of them, Tyler or Lance, decides to speak up and elucidate the lead up to what happened, I think there's no chance we can piece together a full narrative of the events that contributed to Tyler's mindset. Clearly, it was politically motivated, as both Tyler and Lance had become much more political, particularly around the topic of gender. Hopefully one day we'll get all the answers. Anyhow, I've been Turkey Tom, thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
That's crazy. That was a crazy video. Like, yeah, like these, gosh, can I please get to the scribbles? Yeah, like these scribbles here are just insane. Like, it makes you wonder what was going through his mind. Monsuminisuminishush. Is that how that is spelled up here? This says stupid idiots. Or ST or SFT. Yeah, this is wild. They said one of them looks like the kind of like a layout of where they were gonna be shooting at, but yeah, this is wild. This is the perfect clean the house live. My house is spotless. Thanks, Akon. Thank you so much, Lauren. See, that's why I try and shut up and let the video play and then put my 2 cents in when it's necessary. Thank you so much. Lauren, I'm glad that you were enjoying it. That's why I get on here to put out the best content I can and try and accommodate to everybody that watches me, because I want to do my best to make sure that my community is happy with my content. So thank you so much. I'm glad you got your house cleaned. I do the same thing. I put on a podcast and I get rolling for show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please shed some light on the Irish immigration. It's not fair. I agree. We'll get into that at some point. But I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. So just give me 2 seconds. Let me go to the bathroom. I know I'm getting up. My bad to the trolls, but I gotta go to the bathroom. Give me 2 seconds. All right, fellas, I am back. I am definitely going to be getting off here in a few minutes, but I figure let's go over a couple things. Let me go over a couple comments as well. Thank you, Tasha, for the love. Much love. Everybody who is new to the channel, welcome to the family. Thank you guys for having such an awesome turnout today. We've gained like 70 subs today or something like that. I was watching the whole time. Thank you guys so much. My hair looks insane today. But it is what it is. Hey, man. I'm chilling at home with my babies. That's all that matters. This stuff is so interesting. Super eager to see all the pieces come together. Not convinced that Tyler did it. Yeah. If he was involved, he definitely wasn't the only one. That's just already known. Like, there's no way that this was all him. And then the fact that Lance disappeared too is crazy. These scribbles definitely look wild. Thank you for the subscription, Tasha. Welcome to the See Me Now family. They need to see us now. We forever seek the truth together with the most positive and fastest growing community on YouTube. God bless you. But yeah, Lance's scribbles, the fact that he just disappeared, like he just all of a sudden ran away. Like, what a perfect excuse, right? To kind of be like, oh yeah, now Lance has disappeared. No one can hear from him. Bro, if the FBI wants to track you down, they're gonna get you. So to me, I don't know. To me, it's crazy. A lot of things are crazy. Meg, this whole video has been an eye-opener. Thank you for sharing this story. It's so strange how these things were all looked up from. Thank you so much, Meg. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family. And no problem. Like I said, man, I love you guys. This is my family. When I say family, I don't mean it lightly. That's why I try and get on here every single day and bring you guys my best attitude and my best self, so we can make the best content and look into the truth ourselves and really dig into it. And so we watched Ian Carroll. That was basically the first video. Oh, we finished the Tucker Carlson thing. Then we watched Ian Carroll, which go subscribe to Ian Carroll. He is an awesome YouTube creator, vets all of his sources, really looks into everything. He does great. And then this is Turkey Tom, who Ian Carroll had suggested that we watch. So hold on, I'm gonna shut this off quick. I'm gonna get off here in a second, but I really want to kind of go in on a screenshot quick and kind of examine it myself. Oh wow, it really does show. Okay, here, let's see. It really does show everything here. Okay, he amped up the complaints. Okay, so here's one of the first pictures. Yeah, it looks like they're taking batteries and like super gluing them to paper. To me, this is like what smokers do when they get too lit and they be going to the table and taking apart Game Boys and Nintendos and putting them back together. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of weird stuff here. Like, what's this? This is like a little drawing of a baby right here. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Yeah, see, there's a glue gun right there. It does seem created. I mean, yeah, this is crazy. Not gonna lie. Here, let's zoom out. And see, these are on sticky notes. Time finally to. So you can't even read this stuff, bro. This is all of the stuff that was apparently found in Lance Twiggs' apartment with Tyler Robinson. See, like this one looks very schizophrenic, like there's demons in the circles or something. And these are all like written on notepads or something. Like, why would it be on notepads for? This one says, "Calm down." Yeah, you can only really understand like a couple of them. Hmm. Yeah, this is freaking weird. I don't want to show the one that I'm not supposed to show on or YouTube. Yeah, this one was one that I thought was really weird too. So what's this say up here? It says Tate equals fate equals fable. Stop hurt. It's like a battery right here. Like what? Let me read you guys' chats here. Much love, Natalie. Have a great night. Lauren says have a great night. Great content today. Thanks for welcoming me into your family. Happy to be a new subscriber. When are you going live again? I'm trying to go live every day, at least by 1 o'clock my time. I'm CDT time, Central Daylight Time. So it's 5:23 for me right now. So I always try and go live around 1. That's when I usually get on. But I'm gonna try and go live more and more during the week. I'm gonna try and go live around 10 or 11 in the morning. But you have a great night too. I really appreciate you being in here. All the love tonight was overwhelming. I'm glad that you guys are here and you guys are new to the family. And we're just gonna continue growing. And when I say family, I don't mean it lightly. I don't forget anybody, and I always show everybody the love that they deserve because you show me the love that y'all think I deserve. So thank you so much. I'm very blessed to have you here. So don't thank me. I thank you. Mariah P 2008, I just said, maybe rewind it a few seconds, but yeah, thank you, Mariah. I appreciate that. I like to think that I have one of the best communities on YouTube, one of the most supporting ones. Tasha, shout out UK. Oh, I got a lot of people that watch me from there. All right, but let's finish going through this a little bit more, and then I gotta walk my nephew to the door real quick in a second. I don't want my daughter to be showing. Aubrey, go over there. You don't have a shirt on. You're in the camera. You should be good now. It doesn't look like she's showing nothing. See, to me, it could be like all this stuff was like just made, like just scribbled and like made to look all crazy. Because it's like, what is this? Any of it, like. And where'd it come from? Yeah, this, I don't know. I'm trying to read it, and it's like I can't I can't even understand it like at all. I agree, Sid. Is this the Bible? Which this stuff looks bad, but it's even worse when you saw his face when he was doodling this shit, combined with the giggling and how vigorously had scribbled it was scary. And the way he spoke was weird, as if it was a bunch of words, but none of them made sense together. And sometimes it'd be in rhyme, or just sometimes he'd only smile and point at shit. Bro, if I were religious, I would have called an exorcist. The smile was so scary. And he showed me that the conversations he was having with ChatGPT, he told me he had solved some equation backwards, and showed me that the ChatGPT text as proof. GPT, sorry, not GBT. The chats were just paragraphs of random Greek and I think Roman symbols with no numbers and random letters going on and on and on. Yep, that's crazy. So I think that's it for tonight, guys. Yeah, Into the Woods, welcome in. What do I think about Mickey McCoy walking away after Kirk shooting? I think it's crazy. It's pretty damning to see the video, especially Ian Carroll break it down. I think it's pretty damning. Yeah, I mean, it's something that people are gonna have to answer to, and it's something that people are gonna have to answer to and are gonna have to give answers for. Thank you for the subscription. God, I can't read. Mariah, thank you for the subscription. Sorry, I got terrible eyes. But yeah, it's gonna be something he has to answer for. Thank you very much, Christy. Glad you're a part of the family as well. Looks like we really had a good turnout today. Had a lot of people join. I'm glad you guys are here. I love to do these breakdowns with you and go through things. Thank you for the subscription, everybody. And thank you for joining the family. I love seeing your beautiful faces in here every single day. That's why I work so hard. And even when I was demonetized at 5K, I put my head down and kept working because I love my community on here. And I like to think that I have one of the best communities on here. More positive and just completely, caring. And not a community where it's just all toxicity. I don't like toxicity in my chat. I feel like I want to build a good, united community because there's too much division in my country right now and all over the world. So, but yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and get off. I appreciate everybody for being here. All the super chats. I wrote new names on the wall today. Thank you, Sid, for the 2 super chats. Thank you, Natalie. You guys both got your names down twice. Anybody else who wants to super chat from here on out, we'll get your name written down on the wall. I want to fill all around my signs right here with super chats and super chat names. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be a good way for you guys to interact. But everybody who is new, Christy, Lauren, Into the Woods, Mariah, everybody, Tasha, everybody. And if I missed anyone, sorry if I missed you. But again, to whoever I missed, thank you. Thank you to everybody for being here. It means a lot to me. We're just going to continue growing the family, continuing the grind. I'll be back on tomorrow at 1 p.m. my time, so Central Daylight Time. And whatever time zone you're in, figure it out. But I'll be live at 1 o'clock tomorrow, 1 or 2. I usually post if I'm a little late. I like to, I make sure I do updates. So thank you guys so much for being on here. We're going to continue to do deep dives tomorrow. If new information comes out, that'd be great. But we're going to continue to do or seek truth on the information we have. So thank you, everybody, for being here. God bless you guys. Jesus is King. May you guys be safe, have a safe weekend, and have a good weekend and rest up for the work week. And again, thank you guys for being here and supporting your boy.